backing the Eagles Sunday.
Yeah? You like their chances?
I'm telling you.
What do you like about it?
I think their defensive line's great.
Yeah?
Can't wait for the halftime show. They're I just think the Eagles. I just got a feeling, like I've been saying.
You got a funny feeling about that.
I just have a feeling this is their year.
Good morning. It is a Would You Rather Wednesday edition of the program. I'm Glenn. He's Griffin, and that is. Of course,
Told you they were going to win. I didn't call that one. Problem is I called it
that.
26-23.
Oh yeah.
I had the 20.
Well, but hey, that means they covered. So
I had the 23 almost right for the Chiefs.
Almost. Yeah, it wasn't quite that. Wasn't quite that compelling, unfortunately.
What cookies are these?
You like those are the Irish cream Oreos. How you feeling about those?
Honestly, not so good.
I didn't care for the Irish cream. You know, honestly, I didn't really care for either one of them. Did you try any of the other ones? The other ones.
They're not a sponsor, are they?
What?
They're not a sponsor, are they?
No.
Oh, okay. They're gonna trash them.
How do we get Oreo to sponsor?
Yeah, I would love to work on that.
Well, you better wear that Towson basketball shirt as long as you can.
That's a dodgeball shirt. It never.
Oh.
You need to be a little bit more respectful to a man who's won the uniform. You need to be a little bit more respectful too. How many national championships have you won?
Yeah.
Huh?
That's true.
How many?
I played in one.
I didn't know that Jay Kuda did a bit about.
Yeah, you didn't see that
I
a
didn't
couple
see
weeks
that.
ago? Yeah,
I don't know why I saw
Yeah.
it recently.
Did.
Somebody retweeted it recently.
Because they
And
did.
I
Teams
gotta
to
kick
win
that.
teams to make or win a dodgeball championship,
Yeah.
teams to like make a Final Four and a college football playoff in the last 10, 15 years. Or
I guess
Towson.
like Michigan State.
And
State.
Towson.
Yeah, Michigan State's the only one.
Michigan State and Towson, or
No, Towson was only on the dodgeball one.
Yeah.
no, they went to
didn't
the
qualify.
final for the football.
Yeah, they were talking about I think the FBS.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
okay.
college football playoff specifically, I
And
think,
it
was
wasn't-
the
At this point, it wasn't in the last decade either.
14,
12.
12.
Drew's
They
here.
win that game on a real field.
I'm sure it was the
They
field's fault. I'm sure.
Dude, the field was
I
a
know the field was-
disaster.
I know that, but I don't think that it would have made much of a difference. It wasn't a particular. Do you remember that from 2 years ago? Who
What was the final
Who was
of
the
that
Eagles
game?
player that said 2 years ago, if that game had been played on real grass, we
Who
would have
said
smashed
it?
the
Yeah,
Chiefs?
but when it was in Arizona.
And whoever it was retweeting that this week. Like,
Oh.
told you. I mean, he's got
There's something there. Dave Matthews plays well on real grass.
Here we go. That's why he's here. Eve 6 is coming to Record Theater next week, and they're sure as hell playing Heart in a Blender. And this guy is going to be here. You know, he's playing all of his hits as well. That's what we love about him. Hey, coming up on the program today, Matt Rambo, Maryland Whipsnakes, is going to join us.
Well,
Tough one last night.
It was a tough one.
Atlanta
It was a tough
beat their brains in, right?
Who?
Atlanta.
Well, it definitely wasn't Atlanta.
It wasn't? Who was it?
You keep guessing. Let's have some fun with
I
it.
have no idea. Whipsnakes got beat.
They did. Now this is the championship series. This isn't the
Okay.
This is the Sixes.
C.J. Gardner-Johnson, I believe, was the one. He was
Who
saying, he was saying RD
who
lineman
beat them?
smash.
Denver?
I just want you to keep guessing.
Not Denver.
Denver.
No.
Denver.
Oh, Long Island.
Well, kinda, yeah. New York is who beat them.
That's what I mean. You're right. They play at Long Island, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I
where
believe
they
you
play.
got-
They might play at Hofstra. They might.
Yeah, they have to.
might.
No one else in New York cares about lacrosse.
No. Oh, I mean, if you mean the city proper.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
But I think that the bit of.
Well, Syracuse cares.
Yeah, I think they're trying to. I think they might have played at Albany last year
Right.
or something like that.
They had Geit brothers.
The Geitz, yes. Yes. One of who I ran up the score on Towson the other day.
Oh, I know they lost to Towson lost to Hopkins,
Well, they lost last
and
week
then
to Hopkins.
they lost to Syracuse.
Yeah.
by
the Hopkins game was competitive.
Yeah, what was
The
Syracuse?
Syracuse game was not.
Really?
It started competitive. It started.
What was the final?
Well, again,
Was it at
A lot
Syracuse?
to not so much, yeah.
At Syracuse?
Yeah, that was like, what,
I like it
1907?
when we guess.
Oh, dude, I love how many people lit you up about the freaking Maryland thing the other day, and I actually came to your defense. Did you see me come?
I don't think I even saw
I came
that.
to your
Thank you
defense.
for being my white knight.
No, I came to your defense.
Thank you.
I said, "What? Are you people on dope?"
Well,
He's covering the game
yeah.
for Loyola,
Look, I've talked about it a few
and I
times.
said, "Here's the irony of it." He was dying to go. A goal! Maryland wins. The Terps win in overtime. You were dying to do that.
It's so funny you said Matt Rambo is going to join. Dante Trader is also joining us. So ironically, we got two former Maryland Lacrosse players. Of course, Dante Trader getting ready for the NFL draft. But Dante and I were talking yesterday.
You were dying to take your shirt
He
off.
said that. He was like, dude, I know you were more excited than that. Like, dude, I know you.
Correct.
I'm like, wait a second. How well do you think you know?
But anyway, I thought you were perfect. I mean,
No. Dude, it's such a complicated conversation because there's a small part of me that says because it was a big game, because there was a lot of neutral audience that was watching, just lacrosse fans, because it was one of the biggest.
There were 38 people. 31 of them wanted Loyola.
No, you're wrong.
You think it was 1919?
What?
You think it was 19 wanted the 38 that were watching?
Yeah,
you think 19 wanted
the 38 people that were watching? We're gonna get. You want to do this or not? What do you want to do?
You think
what
19?
do you want to do? You want to
do
do
you
this or
think
you just want to do that?
19 of those people wanted Maryland?
No, the 38 people. One of the biggest games of the week in the
But
sport.
anyway.
And it had a huge audience. And so the argument that they have is for a game like that, it's better for the sport if we have a neutral TV broadcast. And I don't disagree with them, but they're not paying me. That's the way this goes.
It's also better for the sport if the home team wins.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess.
No, the refs didn't help that.
Yeah, that's what you got.
You were perfect. You did it exactly the way you're supposed to do it.
I did exactly what I should be because I'm being paid by Loyola.
Correct.
Yes, that's.
I bet you that the Yankees announcers this past October didn't go, and that's 5 runs for the Dodgers here in the 6th. The Yankees have completely fallen apart. What's wrong with these idiots?
Drop the ball in right field. Who was that?
What's wrong with these morons who are giving you grief?
Look, man, I think it's a more complicated conversation. I'm not. This is the funny part is that like some people.
The funniest part is you had the turtle head on while you were doing the game.
Not during the game. No, stop. Truth be told, in that game, I probably would rather. I don't know. I have to think about that. But no, this is a complicated conversation that goes beyond this one game. That I think is something that has to be talked about because at some point, like we're accustomed now in football, there's only one neutral broadcast, right? In baseball, you still get exactly what you're talking about. Basketball, hockey,
right?
You still get that. But in football, you only get one neutral broadcast. In college basketball, you only get one neutral broadcast.
That's why Gus Johnson was always so great. Because
he was excited for both teams.
He just wanted to see the ball go in at the buzzer so he could
100%
do his thing.
Right,
sure.
Like all of that.
Right.
And I think that we are, as sports fans, growing more and more accustomed to that. I want to tune in and see neutral. I want that. And as a sports fan, I kind of want that too.
Really? I don't know.
For everything but baseball.
But I think I grew up in a different era. Like I wrote on my thing, you reminded me of Ron Weber. I wrote on my tweet when I wrote that to you. Mm-hmm. You reminded me of Ron Weber. Ron Weber. I don't know, man. This is such a. This is so close to the bone for me because of growing up listening to sports radio, sports hockey, but radio. Baseball mainly in the summer.
Yep.
But hockey, and I wanted to be Ron Weber. I did a paper on Ron Weber. I went to meet him at the Billy Ice Rink. And I can remember, like it was yesterday, laying in my bed, listening to Ron Weber call the Caps and the Canadians, and how he would be excited and this and that. Shot, rebound, and here come the Canadians. Lafleur shoots. He scores. And he was like he was just like you did the other day.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't going to get excited about the fact that Guy Lafleur just scored his 40th goal of the year.
Why would you?
Because 18 of them came against the Caps. Right. And it was just something about the way it was almost seamless. He would be like, Lafleur shoots, and he scores. So the Caps now down 3-2, and we'll be right back. You're like, did I just miss a goal?
Get the facts right.
Right. Did I just miss a goal?
Literally in that moment, I know that because Maryland has the ball, they have an opportunity to win.
Right.
The only important part now to me is make sure you get the facts right.
Right.
Who has the ball? What did they do? Don't botch that. State it, and then okay, game's
You did
over.
screw up when you said Rabel. You're like, Rabel scores.
Believe it or not, it wasn't Rabel.
Well, you said it was.
Did I?
Have you listened to the tape?
I didn't go back and listen. That would be an odd mistake for me to make.
Did you?
That would be a really
How
strange
funny would it be
one.
if you did a broadcast once?
Yeah.
Where you included all that. I'm going to go back to something I read 30 years ago.
Yeah.
That you included names of like, pick out your favorite TV show, and I'll give you an example of this. Like, I'm reading we're flying home.
Yeah.
We play Kansas City on a Friday night, and I don't remember where we were flying to, but I get the paper the next day the Kansas City paper because it's got a recap of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I see a headline. I just glance at the sports, and I see a headline that said Malone's 40 lead. Clark. Okay. Malone's 40 leads Clark to huge win. And I'm like, oh, well, somebody had 40 points. And I start reading the article, and it says Sam Malone scored 40 points last night, including 13 in the fourth quarter.
So Sam Malone.
As Clark High School came back from 7 down in the second half to defeat Griffin High School in 71-68 in a huge game. And I'm like, oh.
And we would.
I'm like, oh, okay. And I keep reading, and every name in the article is from Cheers. Right. And someone called it in to the Agate, because in the old days, you called in, hey, it's Drew Forrester with the blast. Just wanted to give you the final score. We won 8-6. There will be a box score coming over. But real quick, Joey Fink had 3 goals, and someone is typing
so
that.
They get it into the paper, right?
Right, so that they can position it in the paper. Fink's 3 goals, lead blast. Some dude called that in again. And we went through the whole thing, and it was in the paper.
It's pretty great.
It was hilarious.
That is pretty great.
So just imagine if you did a game where you just did band members.
The thing that
all you did was just band members.
The most viral thing that I've ever done was right after the show Parks and Recreation ended. Stevenson was playing a game against Haverford College, and one of the characters on Parks and Rec was Tom Haverford.
Okay.
And so I did nothing but Tom Haverford-isms, like his
Haverford puns, right,
during the broadcast.
Right. I love it.
The internet loved that. They didn't. The Maryland fans didn't love my call. The internet loved that one.
Right.
Everybody was in agreement.
Right.
Right.
I love it.
And
I love
that's
it.
The way that it went.
Well, I'm on your side. You and me, buddy.
Thank God I've got you.
Kindred spirits.
If I lose you, it might all be over at that point.
Kindred spirits.
No, it's not just. I just need everybody that listens. If you're a Hopkins fan, be prepared, because this Saturday it's gonna be the same thing. I get paid by Loyola, but to be clear, I'm happy to be excited for your team.
If you want to pay me,
they want to pay me.
Right. I am available.
I will be so excited. For any team,
I am available.
I got one strict rule.
Tufts University up in Massachusetts, 100%. If you're listening.
Yeah. You want me to be excited about the Jumbos?
Or is Tufts in Rhode Island? Where's Tufts? In Boston? Somewhere?
Yeah, I think it's Boston. That sounds right. You want me to be excited about the Jumbos? No problem. Pay me.
Right.
And I will be super
I thought
excited.
You were fine.
Super excited.
I don't think you're very good at it, but you were fine.
I appreciate it.
No, you're good. You actually are good at it.
Yeah. By the way, somebody said that too.
I think lacrosse might be your best sport.
That's a good question.
I think lacrosse might be your best sport because you're not very good at soccer, and you're terrible at basketball. Yeah. So these two, no, I think lacrosse is your thing.
It might be.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the one that I'm most associated with. I guess because I work for USA Lacrosse and because I do some of these big events. I don't know.
You need to do what Mike Popovic doesn't have 4 different names.
Right. Well, I don't know the 2. Does he have 2 more?
I think he's got several. I don't know. Definitely has Mike Bradley.
Oh, Mike Bradley was definitely.
I don't understand.
And I kind of understood that Popovic's a difficult name. That
I mean, not really, but okay.
It is.
Okay.
Somebody's going to say Popovic.
Okay.
I hear it on the radio station.
Oh, yeah, right.
People will be like,
yeah,
hey, coming up next, Mike Popovic.
Oh, man.
Dude, he's worked here for a long time.
Right.
I know he doesn't show up much, but
right.
You would think that you would have learned what his name is at some point.
Hey, terrible story about Tim Tootin.
Yeah, awful. Oh, man. Oh,
I mean, that was very sudden,
sucks.
right? He went in for a procedure, something weird happened.
Oh,
man.
and he's the best.
He was really a good guy.
God, what a great guy.
He was a really good guy. I
remember
I don't remember where we were, but we were at a playoff game, and for whatever reason, he was there. And he walked around to all the buses. I don't know if you remember this, or maybe you had already gone to the press box. I'm almost sure it was in New England.
Okay.
It might have been the Billy Cundiff the year I made the kick.
Right. Yes. Remember that well.
No, I don't remember what game it was. I don't remember if you were there, but I thought you were. But he came around to the buses with a camera, talking to people. Hey, here we are for the news. Yeah, right. And I just remember him saying, man, I listen to you guys every morning, man. You guys keep it real. You guys are the best, man. You guys are keeping it real. I'm like, well, there's the boss over there. Yeah. Go talk to him.
Maybe let him
I said, go talk to him. He goes, no, I'm good. I don't really go around. I don't go around him too much.
Don't blame me. Don't blame me for that.
I'm like, go tell him he owns a station. He's like, I'm good.
I remember.
But he was a good man.
Oh, he was a good man. He was incredibly good at what he did, and he had a cachet. Like when Tim Tootin showed up somewhere, it meant something.
Yeah, sure. He was like Rob Roblin.
Yeah.
Very much. When Rob Roblin showed up, it was a story.
Yep,
There was
100%.
something going on. It's like Marty Bass. When Marty Bass shows up, it's a big deal.
Marty was more for fun. Like Marty was more,
okay.
Like it was more.
But when Marty Bass showed up,
he mattered. He mattered.
Right,
yes.
right. But I would say Roblin and Tootin, when they,
Tim was there.
you know what Rob's specialty always was.
What?
Rob would always be the one to go for the snowstorms. You know,
yeah,
Rick,
100%.
Rick and Reisterstown and Rob Roblin were best friends.
No question. Are you realizing that
Yeah,
he's wearing my
he's wearing your
headphones? I
headphones,
just realized that too. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. I'm like, where are my headphones? And I realize it's because Drew's wearing them.
Yeah, I remember one time Rick was on at 9:50 and then again at 10:05
did I show you
from the opposite
Hang on a second.
gas stations.
Did I show you? Oh man,
No.
this is one of my favorites.
Oh no!
I hadn't heard from Rick in a little while.
Oh,
but-
he's still around?
oh yeah, 100%.
I
In fact,
figured he
it
was
was
gone.
it was very sweet.
Okay.
On Tuesday, December 24th, Rick from Reisterstown sent me a card,
Okay.
but it was like an e-card.
Okay.
Like it was a holiday greeting. This is
Nice.
incredibly thoughtful and sweet. Like I was stunned that he did this. Look at this is very nice. Like Rick was just thinking of me on Christmas Eve and sent me this BlueMountain.com
I'm waiting for the
holiday greeting.
I'm waiting for the
card.
punchline.
And I watched it and I was feeling this. I'm like, okay, there's got to be a bit here. Like this is
Right?
this is weird. But as it turns out, it was just this really sweet, thoughtful, haven't talked to you in a little while, just wanted to check in with you type of greeting.
Okay,
to
you're
say,
weirding me out here.
Merry Christmas.
There better be a punchline.
So,
There better be a Jeremy Kahn naked
and I had been through a tough
naked
month.
woman with that isn't actually a woman
Yeah.
or something.
I had been through a tough month, so it was really meaningful to me. I was like, man, Rick, that thank you. Like that actually genuinely touched me today that you would bother to
Here it
send
comes.
something like that.
Here it comes.
It meant a lot that you were spending time thinking about me. I genuinely appreciate it. I was feeling that in that moment. Merry Christmas from Bonnie.
Oh my.
Mary.
How do you know it came from him?
Merry
Because it came from his.
Yeah, he texted it.
It came
to me
from
his number.
but he forgot to change the name.
Merry Christmas from Bonnie.
I love it.
And you know what?
I love it.
It's perfect.
It's still okay. No,
It's
no. It's
perfect.
actually better than
Yeah.
than it says Rick.
It's better
Right.
that it was Mary.
Here's the funniest part.
I
I would do that to you
right.
and intentionally do it.
Yeah.
There's zero chance he did that
No.
intentionally.
No. Rick. I don't know.
There's zero chance.
I don't.
I really thought it was going to be the old Jeremy
Yeah,
Kahn.
no, that Rick.
the
that's
old
too much for
the old
you're-
Jeremy Kahn
you're-
skit.
You're aiming way too high.
Jeremy
for-
would say, "What do you think about this girl?" And you and I would go, "Pretty hot."
Merry Christmas. Yeah, and then it would turn out she had a penis.
Right.
I understand.
Jeremy. And it was definitely like a Letterman thing because
Yeah.
it was Snoopy and Lucy. I mean, it was Lucy and Charlie Brown with the football. We would walk back by, and he would go, "Hey,
100%.
seriously,
Every time.
seriously, look."
Every time.
Look at her real quick,
Yeah,
and I'm
right.
not.
Yeah.
This is real. Look,
Yeah, I'm sure.
and then he would do it again,
And you
and you and I would be like, "Damn!"
Can't even be mad. He got me. He got me.
Oh man.
Yeah, Rick.
Then the next day you would go, "Hey guys, check her out." We were like, "We're not
Yeah,
doing
we're
it."
not- yeah,
He's
come
like,
on.
"Just come on."
Yeah, like all right. Oh,
And he would
all
get
right.
such a kick out of it.
That's my Lou Brown, by the way.
Oh man.
Oh, all right.
I swear. What a place that was.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I just realized he apparently sent me one on New Year's Day as well.
Oh,
so
my
now I want to see if it said Happy New Year from Bonnie. And maybe Bonnie's someone in his life. Maybe it's a special person.
What'd you do last night with no TGL on?
Oh yeah, it was tough. Well, next week we get a triple header.
Oh my gosh.
So-
President's Day.
Yeah, right.
There's 3 of them.
and I'm thinking about taking this show off on Monday. So we're just gonna be
Well,
watching the
you
TGL
got-
with my pants
You got
off.
Atlanta back to back.
Right.
They're making those dudes play back to back.
Oh my God! And all that walking that they have to do.
Right.
That's unbelievable.
It's incredible.
Yeah, I watched lacrosse last night. I enjoyed.
Oh,
I
right.
enjoyed the
Right.
lacrosse.
So what's
Tough-
that?
tough
1-0?
night. Tough night.
1-0 now?
I mean, 1-0.
The series? Or is it over?
No, they don't play the same team.
Oh, gotcha.
Like 4 teams
Oh,
participate.
gotcha. Okay.
So, yeah, it's like,
I haven't figured it out yet, huh?
It's round robin right now.
I haven't figured out how
And
to
then
do
the
it
top
yet.
2 teams
Okay,
go to the
gotcha.
semifinals.
Okay, gotcha.
Sunday. That's why. You know what? Are you ready?
Oh,
You want to go ahead and hit the music?
I'm ready.
Okay, catch him before he's had a chance to look at his phone.
No, I'm ready.
Catch him right now. I actually think that we're going to
I'm
give
ready.
you another segment with him later on in the show. But first,
Okay.
it's time for this.
Make sure I have it. I also haven't gotten rid of the guys talking yet.
Can we work on that at some point?
It's all good. Don't worry about it.
No, it's not. Stop.
What do
You think that because you think so little of the show. If this was,
Oh, all of a sudden now you care?
if you were on the
You
radio
have me on.
station- That's- you know what? All right. Point taken.
You care about the quality. I'm here.
It's time for NBA Corner with Drew Forrester. NBA Corner is brought to you by the CIAA tournament.
That's right. Baltimore is welcoming the excitement of the Food Line CIAA men's and women's basketball tournament back to CFG Bank Arena. Less than 2 weeks away now. Get your tickets. It starts February 25th, runs through March 1st. Your tickets are available at Ticketmaster.com. Again, head over to Ticketmaster.com for your tickets to the Food Line CIAA men's and women's basketball tournament at CFG Bank Arena. February 25th, runs through March 1st.
All right. Big fat Luka Doncic had 14 points in his Lakers debut the other
In
night.
fairness, Mad Dog Russo pronounces it the exact same way. It's worth.
Prompting LeBron James to say, "We're paying $70 million for this big lard."
I missed that.
The- Kevin Durant last night.
Yes.
Huge night for Kevin Durant, becoming the 8th player in the history of the NBA
I can't believe you
to have 10,000 points.
No, but
30,000.
Hey!
For becoming the 8th player in the history of the league to score 30,000 points. Afterwards, Durant was quoted as saying, "If only my brother would have been any good at Towson, maybe we'd have played together someday."
Can I tell you a little? His brother was putting out fake stories last week about Durant getting traded. This is straight shit.
Oh, my God.
His brother was texting people
Oh, my God.
that he was being traded to Golden State.
Oh.
Or Miami, maybe it was. I don't remember.
Minnesota
Like his
was in
brother.
there, yeah.
His brother was. I know that they came from his brother.
Oh, man.
Tony.
Wizards,
Oh.
Wizards after several, 3 games in a row.
Hey, look at this guy.
After 3 games in a row winning, they fell the other night to the big, tall Mongolian dude in Sacramento, San Antonio,
Mongolian.
with that maniac coach. San Antonio came in and beat them handily, in fact,
They're on the up, San Antonio.
in D.C. Real quick,
Hopefully, Chris Paul can play till he's 50, so he can enjoy it.
last night in Big Ten basketball,
Well, now wait. What does
Michigan
that have to do with
State,
NBA
a
corner?
loser at home to Indiana, 71-67.
All you
How
got-
it ties in,
All you got to do is fire your coach, and you're
how
good.
it ties in,
Yes.
is there are several players on the Michigan State team that someday will be in
yes.
the NBA.
There,
And
that's
also last night, Michigan
definitely quoted.
beating Purdue by 2. A 3-pointer at the buzzer.
This sounds like Rick from Reisterstown
Three-
doing NBA corner.
A 3-pointer at the buzzer bounces out. And the Wolverines hold on to knock off the Boilermakers in a Big Ten showdown.
So back to the NBA though.
And then back to the NBA. Last night, Raptors 106, Sixers 103.
That is true.
In Philadelphia.
How did it? Did you see how it ended?
I did not.
Well, the Sixers had the ball,
Okay.
down 2.
Okay.
With a, 105-103, with a chance to win. Joel Embiid, wide open, standing by himself at the top of the key, could have taken a 3 that might have put him ahead. Instead,
Dishes it off.
chose to drive right into 3 defenders and had the ball stripped away. And the Raptors went down and scored on the other end.
Hands free. 106-103. Toronto over Philadelphia.
Look, it's a staggering amount that you do know.
I was very excited about the final of that one.
What-
Also, last night the overhit in Indiana and the Knicks.
This is the one way he's going to be able to do NBA corner.
128 to
This is the
115 was the final.
way.
That adds up to 243. Don't Flyers fans, don't go for your calculator.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, 128 and 115 is 243, and the total was 239 and a half.
Which NBA All-Star will not be able to participate in All-Star Weekend?
Kobe Bryant.
And that's NBA Corner with Drew Forrester. I should know better.
Oh my god.
I mean, I guess he's.
Yeah, no, I know what you're about to say.
They've listed him as doubtful.
No. It was okay the first time because the joke really wasn't at his expense. It was at my expense. That made it okay. You gotta just stop. Oh my god. Now.
And the best part is I wasn't prepared.
I know.
You lobbed it.
I know.
You lobbed it.
I was there.
And I hit it right back at you. I hit you with it.
I experienced it.
I hit it right back at you.
I'm quite aware.
Oh, my God.
I was part of it.
God, I'm sorry. Forgive me for I have sinned.
Yeah, that was all right. Anyway, so
We'll
do it next week. We'll do it next week, but we're gonna stop for today. For today, you'll never know who the All-Star was that had to be replaced. It was a big story in the NBA this week. Big story. Anyway.
All right, we're back.
Expected, yes. I know what you're saying. It was expected.
I'm sure Twitter's very fired up about that.
God. Anyway.
That's tough.
I don't know.
Let's take a break.
I can't decide if I want Griffin to make that into a TikTok or not.
Oh.
I kind of do, but I don't want to post it on ours. I want him to start a burner account. Post it there.
All the hijinks of the Glenn Clark show.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
I have, it's a big week, obviously, for the NBA because it's NBA All-Star Week. But that's not the only big event in sports this week. Of course, this week is also the Daytona 500.
Oh,
so
correct.
coming up later on in the program,
Oh, right.
Rubbins Racing with Drew Forrest.
Oh, yes.
Coming up a little bit later on in the program.
Yes. And actually, I have a winner.
Oh, there you go. Do you know who won last year's Daytona 500?
Give me a second.
If either one of you could come up with it, I'll buy lunch.
Okay. Well,
you owe me lunch. So
give me a second.
I think
you don't get long.
I think his first name was Chase.
No.
Darn it.
No. I'll give you. We got to take a break because we got Matt Rambo coming up. I'll give you.
It wasn't Austin Cedric. I'm trying to think of. I think I know the answer to this.
He's right that it wasn't Austin Cedric. I shouldn't help.
Was
him.
it in Austin?
No. Last year's.
I don't think Dale won.
Was it Logano?
No.
It wasn't. Okay.
It's not Joey Logano.
Because he has won one.
Go Austin Dillon.
It's not. I don't know how many guesses it's going to take for you guys.
No, go ahead. It's a weird one.
Yeah, it was a weird.
It was a weird
Brad
one. Right?
Keselowski.
It was William Byron.
Yeah, right.
William Byron.
I knew it was a weird because
later on.
Who
in the
was
program,
the kid that won the? There was another kid that won 5 or 6 years ago of the same ilk. Had never won before,
100%
and just
right.
suddenly all this.
Ricky Stenhouse.
Nope, somebody else, somebody even way more obscure than that. One of those didn't lead the whole time.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
And then all of a sudden at the end, the guy's like, "I won."
Yeah, right. Was it maybe even like a weird a caution came out at the end?
Yeah, it was bizarre. They're like, "Dude, you won." He's like,
Right.
"No, I didn't. Did I really?"
Michael McDowell.
Correct.
McDowell is who it was. Michael McDowell.
Correct.
I don't know that he ever won another race.
Right. Oh, I don't think so.
I don't know that that's the case.
He went on to start a fast food restaurant.
There you go, McDowell's. Hey, you know what, man?
New material.
It's actually not bad.
Yep.
It's really not bad.
Yep.
With a million years, he had no idea.
No idea. Right. Where was?
No idea. All right, we'll come back in. Matt Rambo's going to join us. The Whipsnakes. Tough one last night.
Yeah. Thanks for not covering.
They definitely did not cover.
Can you bet on the PLL?
Sure? Griffin lost a lot on the PLL last night.
Not a good night.
What's wrong with you?
Griffin lost his house.
What are you?
And it's not even his; it's his parents. He lost his parents' house.
What are you, a derelict?
Come back in, talk to Matt Rambo. It's GCO.
I had New York.
At Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. Sweeten your Valentine's Day with a chocolate bar February 13th and 14th. Pamper yourself and your partner with Valentine's Day spa discounts February 10th through 21st. Celebrate the Year of the Snake and win a Lunar New Year luxury brand collection February 28th. Plus more ways to play, dine, and win all month. At Arundel Mills. Must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Driving in Maryland? Did you know an Easy Pass from DriveEasyMD.com can save you time and money? Of course you did, because you are a thrifty driver. An antenna reads your Easy Pass transponder and automatically deducts the toll from your Easy Pass account. Learn more at DriveEasyMD.com.
Treat yourself and taste the Baltimore tradition that is the legendary Costas Inn. Hey, it's Stan the Fan Charles. For over 50 years, the Costas Inn has been a Baltimore original, dishing out their amazingly scrumptious, fat, award-winning crab cakes and steamed crabs. Every season is crab season at Costas, so make your plans now by calling 410-477-1975 and reserve your taste of heaven. Sit back, crack some crabs, and watch the Ravens chase down another title on Costas' 15 TVs. On Monday nights, Costas offers their half-pound jumbo lump crab cake with 2 sides for under $30, and there are nightly specials Monday through Friday. So head on down to the Costas Inn at 4100 North Point Boulevard or visit them at CostasInn.com.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
COVID-19 and flu viruses are circulating in Maryland. But don't worry, protection is within arm's reach. Protect your health with this year's COVID-19 and flu shots. It's safe and convenient to get them both at the same time. Flex your protection. For more information, visit health.maryland.gov/vaccines.
This message paid for by the Maryland Department of Health.
Coming back in here with Glenn and the other guy, Garrett, whatever his name is. You know who they are.
All right, back in here on GCR. Drew Forrester in studio with us on a Wednesday edition of the program. Tough one last night for the Whipsnakes, but the PLL Championship Series did get underway down at the St. James. Great opportunity for you to get down there and check out some great lacrosse this week, and you can watch it all on ESPN Plus up until a TV on Saturday or on Sunday and Monday as well. Joining us now, one of my favorites. He is, of course, a Terps legend, and he is one of the stars of the Whipsnakes. Matt Rambo is with us this morning here on GCR. Matt, it's Glenn. It's always great to catch up, brother. Thanks for taking the time for us this morning.
Hey, Glenn. Thanks for having me on.
Of
it's great
course,
to be
dude.
back on.
Yeah, man. It's good to talk to you. All right, now I need you to be as honest as possible, all right? I need you to be completely dead ass with me right now. Any truth to the rumor that maybe things didn't go so great last night because you were still drunk from the Eagles Super Bowl celebration on Sunday?
I wish that was the case, but unfortunately, we were down here for camp, so we just watched the Eagles game.
You didn't even get the party. You didn't even go out and did you try to find?
I didn't even get the party.
Okay,
it stinks. We got to celebrate.
Wait, there's got to be some sort of light pole near the hotel that you're staying at that you could have gone and climbed up. And they didn't even grease the ones down here. You didn't even get to do any of that?
I should have climbed it up, or, they were taking them out of the ground this time around, so it was kind of hilarious. That's how we celebrate in Philly.
Yo, y'all are a different breed, bro.
It was such a good win for the city, and I couldn't be, that team, man, was so good from top to bottom. And
it's nuts.
And Saquon is such a good guy, you see, on and off the field, that I was super happy for him, especially.
I got to be honest, though, I'm not comfortable with how handsome they all are. I'm really not. Like, that shouldn't be allowed. Philadelphia is supposed to be like a grittier city than that. Like, there should not be allowed to have that many handsome players on the same football team.
Hey, we're tough, though.
Yeah, that's true. There is no doubt about that. Well, for you, because I genuinely love you, congratulations, right? Like, congratulations. I know that's a really cool moment for everybody. And for most of the country, it wasn't the Chiefs. So,
100%.
We'll take that. Matt, always great to catch up, dude. So, this week, I know that this event itself is cool. And I feel like the Sixes thing is also cool for maybe people that aren't as into lacrosse, that you're trying to convince someone, hey, this is a sport you should give a look at. It's a good way to sort of get them in because there's so much action. For you, as an offensive player, like, take me through. Do you love sixes? Are you like, yeah, I do it, but it's not necessarily my thing? Like, where are you at with the format?
Right. Well, this is kind of really my first time really playing sixes. I've played indoor a lot in my career up in Philadelphia. So it's kind of, they have the same type of thing. It's 5-on-5 like basketball. It's really fun. I think it's such a great game. You get up and down. You get to see a lot of cool things, a lot of goals, a lot of trick shots. So I think it's great for the fan and the audience. But I also think it's great for youth lacrosse as well, because when you think about regular lacrosse, field lacrosse, it's 10-on-10. But now that the field is smaller, there's a 2-point line. If you use this for youth, a lot of kids get a lot more passes, a lot more touches. You guys have, a lot of programs have second and third graders playing with a 6-foot long pole. It doesn't make that much sense. So just having everyone get up and down the field playing offense and defense, I think it's such a great way for the youth, but I think it's such a great way for people and the fans to enjoy the game of lacrosse, where it's so fast-paced. Lacrosse is the fastest sport on 2 feet, but now we even turned it up a notch with the 5-on-5 in a smaller field. So it's pretty interesting. I think we're all trying to figure it out because it's relatively new in the last couple of years, and it's going to be in the Olympics in 2028.
Yep.
So I think people are still trying to figure some of the schemes and the best way to run stuff. But all in all, it's just another event for the PLL to put on, so you don't have to wait a whole year for the summer to come back on. It's kind of like a halfway point, and it's a great product.
No, it's fun. It's fun as hell, man. There's no doubt about that. Are you finding yourself like you use that word Olympics, and it's such a game changer for the entire sport. Do you find yourself saying like, hey, I do want to maybe focus, dedicate a little bit more, because you're Matt Rambo, like you are one of the best lacrosse players in the world. Do you find yourself saying like, I would like to put myself into that conversation and get on the radar for having that opportunity?
Yeah. I mean, I think, it would be great to try out. The Olympics are 3-4 years away, so we'll see how I'm going to be doing when I'm 34 years old, since I'm 30 now. So it might be for some of the younger guys that, you got to play offense and defense. I'm a more offensive-minded guy, but, we'll see what happens in the next 3-4 years. And, even if, I could just watch or be on the sideline somewhere, it's always, I got the Rep USA a couple of years ago in the World Games. Anything I can do to represent the USA, the red, white, and blue, is always meaningful. It's probably one of the, besides winning a national championship with Maryland, it's up there with one of the best championships ever won, just because I love this country, and rocking red, white, and blue is something that you don't get to do too often.
No, it's such a cool thing, man. Speaking of cool things, what you guys did as a team last year and the way that it all came together, and I know, you're still probably not over the championship, but like that for a team that was so young, that had so many new pieces, and maybe like the greatest rookie class of all time, Christ.
Right.
What happened? What clicked? And now how much confidence do you have going into this season that you guys are ready to get back to that championship level?
Yeah, I just think we had so many young guys in the beginning, and they were trying to figure out the professional game. I think people from the outside world don't really understand how hard it is to going from college to professional is such a different jump. It's a faster game. The field's smaller. It's just like almost a different game from college, where they're used to dominating, and then coming into the professionals, they're like, oh crap, I got to figure this out pretty fast. But, during the first 2 games, we weren't winning, and, all Coach Staggs was really saying, it was like, we just got to outwork everyone. If we go out there and outwork the other team, win or lose, you can look yourself in the mirror and be pretty happy with yourself. So that's what we did. I think after that, we outground balled everyone. We got all the tough plays. When we slid we hit people and not, shy away. And I think offensively we just were powerful, and, we just went hard 24/7. And you know what? We're going to have a week to recover. So I think that, that was the motto, and, it's kind of the motto that we're going to have going forward with the Champ Series. I know last night wasn't the best performance on us. Their goalie was really hot.
That's true.
I think, a couple things could have went our way, but, we had a meeting today. Let's just try and outwork everyone. That's about it. Let's just try and outwork everyone. If it goes our way, that's great, but at least we can look ourselves in the mirror, the fans, and being like, you know what, I gave everything I got. And that's all you can ask for an athlete.
Matt Rambo, Maryland Whipsnakes, with us here on GCR as the PLL Championship Series continues. They're back in action tomorrow night down at the St. James. Matt, two things. One, like, I don't know how much we talked about just the Maryland aspect of this, right? Like, what I know, right. we joke that obviously you're a Philly guy, but, like, you came down here, you became an utter legend at Maryland. What has it meant for you to be on the Maryland Whipsnakes? Like, how significant has that been for you?
I think it's I think it was so cool to just kind of go full circle. Philly's my home, but I also think Maryland's one of my second homes. I spent so much time down in College Park, and, when I look back at my career, when you think of Matt Rambo, you think of Maryland, and now I get to affiliate the Whipsnakes with Maryland. Just kind of goes full circle, going from the green and, red now back to the original colors, the black, red, and yellow. It's such a cool fitting for me, and, I wouldn't change anything for the world. I don't want to be on the other team. It's just amazing. You got, I believe we have the best fan base in the PLL, how we pack out our home games. It's just full circle, and it's just I couldn't ask for anything better.
It really is cool, man. Like, it's so cool that it's worked out that way. And now, how are you? Like, it's funny because I know you. You're an affable dude. How are you after, like, a night like last night? Like, if I had seen you in the locker room afterwards, would you be like, dude, get away from me? Like, how are you when you go through something like that? And, like, also, have we demanded that maybe New York be, like, steroid tested or something, because that was insane last night?
I think, we're just trying to figure out this Sixers game. So, we're talking. We're obviously not thrilled. We're all competitive guys. I think everyone that plays, sport is competitive, especially at this level. So losing doesn't sit well with anyone. But I think, we have such a quick turnaround with Thursday's our next game. Like, we can't go back and look at that game too much. We got to move forward. So I think we're just trying to figure a couple things out. And, after the game, was I happy? No. Was I pissed off? Of course I was pissed off, but I wasn't pissed off like I was, if it was during the regular season, because the turnaround is so quick. You got to have short memory and move on now.
I respect that, man. Okay, how you feeling about, obviously, Spanos came to life on Saturday. It was tough for me because I work for Loyola. I had to call the game. That was a tough thing. But how you feel about I really genuinely believe that while they didn't win the title last year, that might have been the best job Tillman's ever done. Like, to get that team to Memorial Day without a Matt Rambo, without a Logan Wisnauskas type, was unbelievable. How good you feeling now after you see, like, Spanos come to life a little bit? It's Logan's still there. Like, about this team having the chance to break through.
Yeah, I think the team is great. The pieces are there. I think people, you read into the scores a lot. Like, Loyola's a good team. We always played them tight. It's two Maryland teams. It was their alumni weekend for their whole entire school. Like, that was a big game for Loyola. And for us to win on the road, like, it's not easy winning away all the time, especially when they had a crowd like that. But, it's early in the season. It's February still. So, if we can pull a couple of these wins out, that's perfect. And like Coach Tillman says, you don't want to be playing your best game in February. You want to be playing your best game in May. And I feel like he's done such a good job with that. Obviously, in the last, 8 to 10 years, how many Final Fours has he been to? It's just because he gets you ready for May and not, so much for, obviously you were ready for February, but you don't want to be playing your tip-top game and peaking too early. So I think, there's a whole strategy of, getting better. They're still meshing. There's new pieces. But, yeah, we're still undefeated, and we have a huge game this weekend. So I think this is going to test our waters. And they're a really good team that was young a couple years ago, and now they're kind of coming together as one. So we'll see where we stand. And, you got to be playing your best game at the end of the year, and that's all that matters.
Rat Mambo, RATTMAMBO. Follow him on Twitter and Instagram there. And, of course, back in action tomorrow night. The PLL Championship Series continues all week down at the St. James. And watch it on ESPN+. Matt Rambo, always good to catch up with you, brother. Looking forward to seeing the rest of the week. And then as we get into the regular season, thank you for taking the time for us this morning, dude.
Hey, thanks for having me on. If, anyone out there wants to see a fast game, come down to St. James. The facility's unbelievable,
yeah, cool.
And hopefully we can get a win on Thursday.
No doubt, bro. Appreciate you, dude.
Hey, thank you.
Matt Rambo with us here on GCR. Appreciate him taking the time for us. Tough one last night, but he's a hell of a player, dude. He's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Were you preparing your segment? Were you?
Oh, no.
No.
No. Oh, you mean racing?
Robin's racing.
No.
Robin's racing.
But I'm ready.
Through Forrester.
I got it.
We'll get to that.
I got it.
We're
actually, a funny story is next Wednesday, we were supposed to be in Daytona this weekend. Not in Daytona, but in Hammock Beach, which is 30 minutes from Daytona.
Playing golf.
But now we're going next weekend.
Why?
Because they couldn't put us all in.
Oh, is this the story of the house that you were?
No.
That was the last trip.
Yeah, This is just they didn't have enough room at the resort for us, and they charge.
They didn't have enough room at the inn. Did they try to put you out back in the
in a manger?
Stable?
They also charge 150% more for golf because everybody wants to play.
Wow.
So next weekend we get a break.
Okay.
So we'll be close to Daytona the week after the race.
Wait. Everybody that's down there for the Daytona 500 wants to.
Well, I mean, not everyone, but a lot of people.
I feel like there's some sort of odd cross section.
No, but a lot of people.
That
you
are
got to remember.
there for, yes,
all it takes.
Corporate.
Right. All
Yeah,
it takes is 200 people, and the place is
I do
filled.
understand entirely. There's really not. It's funny because you came in hot and bothered about the Super Bowl. I wish there was anything to talk about related to the Super Bowl. I wish there was. There's just not.
They just didn't have it, and everything the Eagles did was right. And I think there's an argument. I said this last week, and everybody's like, "There's no way you don't really think the Eagles are going to win." It is very, very there are three things that stand out when you watch these games. It's very, very difficult to play as the hunted, and you have to really give them credit for having done it for 3 years. It is very difficult to play as the hunted. There is an incredibly fine line between winning and losing. People joke all the time, right, about these awful. You hear people go, "Oh, could the best college team beat the Panthers?" No. You have no idea how close you are when you're 4-13 from being 8-9, which
that's what Dak Prescott has to say.
Well, right, which then becomes 11-7, 11-6 the next year. Like it is such a fine line, and particularly the further along you go in the season. This is what we said about Lamar. If Lamar throws the ball away to the Browns in October or to the Jaguars, or he fumbles the ball against the Broncos, it doesn't matter. But when you're playing against teams of championship ilk and you do that kind of stuff, it always comes back to haunt you because the other team is good because they know how to exploit that stuff. And when you could just see the other night, you could tell 20 minutes into the game, this thing is out of control. They don't have it. They're pressing, and I think they did start to press.
Oh, they definitely started to press.
They started to press.
It is crazy to me that Andy Reid, like all the praise we give Andy Reid, he just kept having Patrick Mahomes sit in the pocket.
Just throw the ball. Right.
Like
they were pressing, and this is people all around here. I don't even know what the Ravens are in the last 2 years, whatever they are, 20, 25 and 25 and
9. Yeah,
is that what they are?
Because there was 13 wins and 12 wins, right?
Yeah,
or
14 wins. 14 wins. Yeah, so there's
26.
Whatever
Season 26.
Whatever they are, plus playoffs.
So they're 26 and 8
in the regular season.
And in the last 2 years, they've won a game and lost a game in the playoffs. And everyone talks about them like they're stupid. It's amazing that people in this town don't understand how hard it is to win. It's incredibly difficult to win.
It is incredibly difficult
And
to win.
and when you start to lose, especially when in the postseason, if you're losing in October and you're losing to the Raiders at home, you're not pressed because it's September. And you go out after the game and you hang around, you go, we'll make that one up later on in the year. We'll go beat the Chargers.
Right.
When you face that in January, it's a totally different feeling. And you press. And I don't care how good you are. I don't care if you're Lamar and you're the best quarterback or one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I don't care if you're Mahomes. You don't perform to your level when you press. You just don't. And I think it really got to him the other night. And it's not, that doesn't diminish his quality in any way. I think they could be right back there. It just wasn't his night.
Right.
And
I
he
assume
pressed.
they'll be right back there.
I think so, too. I mean,
like a lot of people say, well, were you watching the Chiefs' window close? I'm like, what?
No.
What would possibly tell you that?
they're going to go get 2 more better players or 3 better players. They're going to identify what their weaknesses are. They'll go get them.
This happened to them once. And their offensive line was the reason they lost the Super Bowl to the Buccaneers in the 2020 season,
Right.
the 2021.
And you know what it also was? Same thing. It was just Brady's time. This was it.
Yeah,
this was his
a little
swan
bit.
song.
The real story of that game, like Mahomes was under siege from moment one in that game.
Right.
And we're just so used to, hey, it's Mahomes, he'll go make magic.
Right.
But it was the same thing on Sunday night. Like, he was getting his ass kicked throughout the course of that game.
The first sack of the game when he hit his head was nasty. I'm kind of surprised they didn't evaluate him because that was a nasty hit. It happened so quick. But I don't know, man. I do think the Eagles were very, very good. I would not take anything away from them.
The Eagles
I think they were
truly
very
built,
good.
There was no doubt they had the best roster in football.
Yeah,
they
were very good.
That was pretty clear from around like week 10 on. There was a debate about Detroit, right? Like maybe Detroit had the best overall roster.
They might have until
Certainly
7 of their players got hurt.
When Hutchinson got hurt,
right?
Like that was that. But I really do like Detroit. You could point out and say maybe they weren't great at certain areas. The only area where you would have argued that Philadelphia wasn't great was quarterback.
Right.
And it's fascinating because he ended up having a really, really good season. You know, probably shouldn't have been the MVP
He's not
of the Super
Trent
Bowl.
Dilfer, but he's also not Tom Brady.
100%.
He's Eli Manning. Different athletic style.
Right.
But he's Eli Manning in terms of stature. He's a good quarterback.
I don't know
but
that
nothing more than
I don't
that.
know that he isn't a little bit better than Eli.
Oh, okay,
Like,
that's fair.
I think we have propped up Eli
But
Manning
that's fair.
because of the 2 results. When,
Right.
Like the truth on Eli Manning was he was at best mid.
He was
like,
Joe Namath
at
until he won 2 Super Bowls.
At most,
right.
I don't even know
But
that
I get
that's
it.
fair.
I think you'll.
It's interesting to me that was a lot of us kept defaulting to you can build whatever you want to build as a team.
Got to have a great quarterback.
It always is going to come down to who's the better quarterback.
Right.
It's always going to come down to
Right.
that. And that like they were able to prove it doesn't just come down to that.
Right.
Now, to be fair, like it wasn't because they took a crap quarterback.
Yeah, he wasn't Trent Dilfer.
They weren't winning with
Brad Johnson,
Gardner Minshew.
Right.
And they paid
They
their
wouldn't
quarterback.
have won with Gardner Minshew.
No.
Right.
We were trying to have that conversation.
They wouldn't have.
Would they have won? What would they have done with Aaron Rodgers as their quarterback?
They would not have won.
They wouldn't have won the
He's
Super Bowl.
done.
What would they have done with Aaron Rodgers as their
9
quarterback
and 8.
this season?
He's done.
Okay, that's interesting.
He's done.
It's interesting.
He knows he's done too.
I don't.
He just doesn't want to say he's done because it's
I
hard.
don't
when
know-
you've been the best, it's hard to quit.
I don't know that their team wasn't so good that they wouldn't still have.
I don't think so.
I don't know about winning the Super Bowl, but I don't know, man.
I
Like,
don't
they
think
built
so. And I also
insanely
think
good
he's
roster.
become. You're not taking into account the fact that
probably going to give away an answer that's coming up for Would You Rather Wednesday.
Okay, you're not taking into account the fact that he has become. Very obviously, he's become a distraction.
So it was. Did you see the story yesterday about him? Oh God, let's just go. Let's do Would You Rather Wednesday. I don't want to keep doing.
I know that somebody said something about he wants to play again, but he's not coming. He's not going back to the Jets.
The Jets have apparently said thanks, but no thanks. Yeah,
of course.
Right. Well, yeah, sure. Would You Rather Wednesday? They're up at Glenn Clark Radio on Twitter, Facebook.com.
He's going to lead the Argonauts to a huge championship win up
Is
there.
Swag Kelly still up there?
I don't know.
He was doing all right for a little while with the Argonauts. Or maybe he was Montreal. I don't remember. All right, so Would You Rather Wednesday, get in those 2 locations. Somebody's winning a $30 gift card to Glory Days Grill just for participating. Both the players that we just brought up are going to be in the first 2 here. Number 1, the NFL is what?
He's an Argonaut.
Hey, look at that. Yeah. And didn't they get the
Aaron Rodgers signed with our?
No, Chad Kelly.
Oh.
The NFL is redrafting all quarterbacks this offseason and will redraft every offseason moving forward.
Oh. Okay.
You are the GM of the team that's up with the number 5 pick next year.
Number 5 pick.
The top 4 quarterbacks are all off the board.
Okay. I'll take Lamar.
Mahomes, Lamar.
Oh, you're putting
Burrow.
Lamar in the top.
Yeah, well, they definitively. Mahomes, Lamar, Burrow,
what a
and
homer
Allen.
you are.
Yeah, I know.
You don't have a hair on your ass for not putting Lamar not in the 4 just so we could argue about that.
Sure. Those are the 4. They're off the board. You're up with the 5th pick.
Okay.
Would you rather take Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert, or Jaden Daniels?
Well, I'll take Aaron Rodgers. Is Jameis Winston available?
Yeah, he is. I know.
Dude, a year of him.
I understand. You're going to have a lot of fun.
If I'm not going to be any good.
Plus, he's been praying to God to deliver him from the pick sixes.
If I'm not going to be any.
You're not signing up to not be good, Drew.
But I'll take Jameis.
Stop
no,
it.
I'll take Jaden Daniels.
Of those 3.
100%.
Just next season.
100%.
Okay.
I think so. I don't know. I can't make a strong.
Pains me to say that.
This is tough for me because I've been saying that all year.
Pains me to say that.
But I do wonder if it's not disrespectful to Jalen Hurts, who just did it. Like, he did it.
That's not disrespectful. Sorry. I'll take Jaden Daniels.
I have said all year that I thought Jaden Daniels was already the best quarterback in the NFC, but there's a small part of me that wants to be like, maybe you default to the guy that you know.
I would take Hurts over the other kid for now.
Over Herbert?
Until he proves himself. Yeah.
Until he wins something.
Yeah. I mean, I think Justin Herbert's a good quarterback. I do.
I absolutely think
I think he's
an extraordinarily talented quarterback.
I think he's a good quarterback. But I do think and Lamar's kind of the same way. Now, Lamar's on a different level than him. But I've been saying this for 3 months. Like, Lamar has a scarlet letter. He hasn't been able to get to a Super Bowl. Herbert has a scarlet letter. He hasn't been able to do anything in the postseason. So, but I like that kid. I think he's a good quarterback. But I would take Daniels over those 2. And then
if it was drafting like for the future of your franchise, 100%. In the 1-year scenario, like you got to draft and then redraft, I think I might go Hurts.
Okay.
Just because I know that he hasn't blinked in the biggest moments.
Well, Jameis Winston's never blinked in a Super Bowl.
That's a great point. That's a really good point. And he won a national championship. Like, he's played in big games before.
Threw the game-winning pass in that one.
He did. 100%. That happened. And again, he's asking God to deliver him from pick sixes. And so there's a chance.
So far,
has he thrown one?
Well, to your point. It's a great point.
You guys all poo-poo God. Right? And now here it is.
You think I'm at war with God?
Here it is, right in your face. God listens.
He said, you will not throw another pick six this season. And Jameis was like, well, this wasn't how I had it in mind. And God was like, no, you don't get to make those decisions.
You don't argue with me.
Right. That's not the way that it works.
Right.
Number 2, as a Ravens fan, would you rather the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback next year be Justin Fields or Aaron Rodgers?
As a Ravens fan...
Mm-hmm.
Are you asking Drew then?
Are you saying Wilson?
Point, right?
Are you saying Wilson's out of the picture?
I'm saying it's one of those 2 guys. Would you rather their quarterback next year be Justin Fields or Aaron Rodgers?
I don't think Fields is any good, but I do think he has an athleticism about him. He could run around and make things. He could make things happen. Rodgers is done. Done. Give them Rodgers.
Go ahead.
Aaron Rodgers is done.
I think Rodgers as well.
This is tricky for me again because I know that based on everything I've ever said, this is why I wrote the questions the way I did. Based on everything I've ever said, obviously the answer should be Aaron Rodgers. But the Steelers could be – they're not winning anything.
You think he's
Aaron
like the
Rodgers.
Undertaker?
No, I think that like the Steelers this is how it operates. They're going to go – if Aaron Rodgers is their quarterback next year, they're going to go 10-7. They're probably going to win a game against the Ravens in the process. That's just – I've seen this.
Is there a chance he is going to Pittsburgh or no?
Well, he's got to go somewhere. So it's got to be somewhere where they need a quarterback.
Right.
There's only so many of those places. There's the Raiders.
He would never go somewhere to be a backup, right?
No.
I mean that's
not
out.
a chance in hell.
Right.
That he would go definitively to be a backup? No.
Yeah. I mean, he
No
wouldn't
way.
go. I mean, he wound up being a backup this year, but he wouldn't.
Right.
He wouldn't go somewhere and
But they
say,
said,
"I'll
we've
go to
got-
Cincinnati
Right.
and hang out with Joe Burrow."
To do the Joe Flacco bid is what you're talking about. I don't think there's a chance.
I don't
in
think
hell.
so either.
I think he would absolutely say, "I'll just go be a."
So where could he
podcaster."
go?
Vegas.
Okay.
The Giants.
Okay.
Pittsburgh.
Okay.
maybe New Orleans, maybe.
Well, I thought Pittsburgh had Wilson locked up, or no?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
They aren't committed to either. Both of them are free agents. And then if there's a chance that either Cleveland or Tennessee doesn't take a quarterback with one of the top 2 picks, then those could become options. But that would be insane for them to not take a quarterback with one of the top 2 picks.
And you're presupposing like Cleveland is a good example. Watson's out for the year, but they're still paying. Like you're presupposing Rodgers is going to come in and say, "I'll play for $10 million." Not $33 million.
Well, I don't know that there's somebody that's who's going to offer him that much. Who's
What I'm
giving him
saying,
that much money? The
Steelers?
He could.
Maybe.
What do you mean, the $10 million?
I'm saying
33.
Yeah, 33.
He's not getting that.
I don't think so.
But when he finds that out, is he quitting?
Maybe. That's tough. He's such an egomaniac that it wouldn't shock me if he just has a hard on for.
He's not winning anything with a man bun. I can guarantee you that.
It wouldn't shock me if he has such a hard on for I want to prove somebody wrong. That he just.
I don't think he does not strike me like the kind of guy who can do that and take a $33 million haircut.
That you just think if he doesn't get the money that he's been paid for the rest of his career, that he's done.
Something representative of that. If somebody offers him $25 million. And he says, "Dude, I make $35 million a year," and they go, "We don't care if you make $35 million. We got $25 million." He might do that, but if someone comes to him, if the Saints come to him and say, "Will you play for $7.5 million?" I think he would say no.
It's an interesting
because he's a fraud.
I understand that. I think it's an interesting conversation.
He is a fraud. He's crazy.
I think there would be a way for them to write a contract that was heavily incentive laden. For him to say
make $100 million.
For him to say something like,
okay.
"Yeah, I wanted it that way. I want to go out and
Gotcha.
for him to try to save face."
I also don't think he's going. Here's the other thing about him, and this is why Pittsburgh might make sense. I don't think he has it in him to go somewhere and get his ass kicked because he doesn't want to go out like that.
But he signed up to be a Jet.
Yeah, but they were.
There was no upside to the Jets.
I don't know about
the
that.
entire upside 2 years ago was that they had Aaron Rodgers. Nobody thought they could compete to win the AFC. They just thought they could be interesting because they had Aaron Rodgers. That's it. There was no upside to it. In fact, it's insane.
I thought the opposite, but that's fine.
Phew.
Okay. He was a year off of being an MVP.
I understand that, but the team wasn't very good.
He's not going anywhere now to get his ass kicked.
They had Gary.
He's not going to the Raiders.
We didn't know.
He's not going to the Raiders. He's just not.
Unless that's his only option.
He's not going to go to the Raiders and lose to Mahomes, Herbert, and Bo Nix. He's just not. He would go to New Orleans because it's topsy-turvy.
You get out. That, by the way, that should be the only thing he should be thinking about is how do I get into the NFC? How do I get out of this?
Correct.
In the NFC, there's some chance that I could still look competent.
Correct. I'll go to New Orleans. They got nothing. Right. But none of the other teams in the division are any good either.
Correct.
So I'm good.
Correct.
Right.
That would be the best case scenario.
I would totally agree.
But I don't know why New Orleans.
If I were his agent.
If I'm New Orleans, how's he any different than Derek Carr? You've got Aaron Rodgers at home. You've got the guy that's not good anymore that you can't win with any longer.
I forgot Derek Carr plays for them.
Why shuffle the deck chairs from Derek Carr to Aaron? Aaron Rodgers used to be better than Derek Carr, but is Aaron Rodgers today any better than Derek Carr?
No, he's done.
Yeah, that's where I am.
Aaron Rodgers
but there's
is done.
something about the voodoo in Pittsburgh, man. There's just something about it.
If he goes there, they're going 14-3.
I'm not 14-3. They're doing exactly what they do. Right. They're going to win a bunch of games.
Right. They'll be 4-6, then they'll be 9-7, and they'll have a game at the end of the year, win and get in, and they'll win 24-21.
And they'll definitely win a game against the Ravens.
Right.
They will 1,000% win one of the two against the Ravens.
That's how I read the question. Do I want to lose one time to Justin Fields or one time?
They're going to come
here.
I
don't know. That's the thing. On the Justin Fields side, I don't know.
You know what would happen? They would start off 4-1 or 5-1. The Ravens would start off 4-2. They'd come here for the big showdown. No, they'd come here for the big showdown mid-October game. The Ravens would win 30-7.
Mm-hmm.
Then they'd go back there the first week of December, and they'd win 17-13.
Yeah.
Right. That's exactly how it would go.
I could see, but it would require them to win a game in December, and they don't really do that anymore. They're really kind of not once it gets cold, they don't win.
It would be fun if he went to Pittsburgh.
It'd be
the older I get, the more I'm a story guy.
It'd be fun because it would be.
So then, would you rather Rodgers go to?
It would just
Pittsburgh
be a good
or
story.
Minnesota? What if he ends up in Minnesota?
It would be
Minnesota. Stop saying
it would be a good.
That's not an option.
Come on.
Yeah, I don't see.
He's just trying to do the Brett Favre thing. That's all he's trying to do.
Yeah, but it would be interesting for him to go back to Green Bay.
He's not going back
To do what?
No, I mean not to play. I mean, I'm talking about against them.
Oh, okay. In that day,
That would.
But it's the same. They have to play
definitely
J.J.
win.
McCarthy. They don't.
Oh, sure.
And again, if they can do the Sam, they could make the Sam Darnold argument that this worked, so we're not going to screw with it. But they don't have it's either got to be Sam Darnold or J.J. McCarthy. They can't bring in another quarterback in Minnesota. That part is not happening. No matter what. I think that I still think that the answer is Rodgers, but I'm a little bit more torn than the two of you are on that one because I guarantee that Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers. They are somehow going 10-7 and winning a game.
We lost to Jameis Winston this year. We can lose to Justin Fields too.
Yeah.
Yes, I know that's true. I know it.
We lost.
But Aaron Rodgers fits the.
It would be like getting hit by Charlie Morton.
This is what they convince themselves they've got.
Because Aaron Rodgers will do the blood ritual before.
Right.
Oh, he's taking the ayahuasca,
100%.
or whatever. He's taking that.
Like if there is he is the voodoo.
Right.
Like that's. I don't want to mess with that.
Right.
They're not winning the Super Bowl. We all know that. But are they beating? They're beating the Ravens. Whereas the Ravens might just beat Justin Fields because they might just have Justin Fields figured out. There might not be any.
You can
voodoo
just
to
see
Justin
it now,
Fields.
right? You can see it now. He is lining up. Justin Tucker lining up this 41-yarder for the Browns.
Still got Justin up for the Browns.
For the Browns.
Got it.
After Aaron Rodgers has driven him down the field, here's Tucker on for the game winner.
Yeah.
In Baltimore, and then he gives everyone the finger, makes the sign of the cross.
Number 3, would you rather?
I'll pin that one so when that actually happens.
Right, yeah. Save that tape. You see this?
I told you, Andrews is going to fumble. You guys didn't want to believe me.
Got part of it right. You
got the whole thing
got part
right.
of it. Not the whole thing, but part of it. Are you familiar with Lil Golo?
Of course.
Who?
Lil Golo.
No.
You don't know Lil Golo?
No, Lord.
Thought you were a big Lil Golo guy.
All right, go ahead.
Lil Golo is an Australian influencer.
Okay.
And he had the idea to make a video. And the video was he was going to run through duct tape that was strung up between 2 poles.
Okay.
And he said, I'm going to run through 1 duct tape. Then I'm going to run through 5. Then I'm going to run through. And he got all the way up to 1,000. And it didn't go well when he got to 1. Oh, hang on a second. He's
going to run through.
I'm playing
there's
in the
1,000 duct tape strands.
Okay,
that are all
make it
tied
big
between
so I
those-
can see it.
Oh, okay, I forget. You're in your 60s.
Okay, so he's going to
See
run
it?
through
He's
that.
gonna
Okay, well
run
that's
right-
easy.
He's already struggling on
He's
100.
gonna run right through it. Oh no, didn't go so well.
He said
What on earth happened to his hair?
Well, he's Lil Golo, dog. You see, he's
Dude,
running.
I like his Call of Duty tattoo.
Oh
on
my
his
gosh.
stomach.
He ran through 100, no problem.
That's insane.
Hold on, I feel like
Yeah,
I'm
right.
ahead of you. I want to try to get it.
Well, it's fine. You can
Straight to 1,000. So he's
Yeah.
doing 1,000.
Well, I'm playing it on the stream. That's what
I understand
Okay.
that. Like people can see it.
Oh, man.
I'm just gonna describe it for Drew. So yeah,
Okay.
1,000.
Right, so he's doing push-ups.
He's
Now
doing
here he
push-ups.
goes.
That's smart. And the first one, no. But he's okay. He's all right. He gets back up. All's good. All's good.
Oh my god.
And then he says, "Not gonna try to do it again." And
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
And that's it for him?
Oh yeah. He's Dunsky.
That's
He's,
it?
Called an ambulance.
Yeah. He's out.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
Oh my God! Is it his neck?
Yeah. Snapped
His neck is broken.
So what happened?
Yeah. Well, he got to the hospital, and he's alive. Like he's still with us, Lil Golo, but like just not great. Not great is the way I would describe it. So number 3. Would you?
I don't
rather-
want to laugh at somebody else's
I understand.
misfortune, but I did make that Kobe joke earlier.
And this is definitely way more.
This is on him.
He chose this.
Yeah. I mean, you can laugh at that.
yeah.
That's on him.
Yeah. Number 3.
It's not a
that
car
guy.
accident or something.
Would you rather? You got bad news this week.
Okay.
Would it be you were feeling froggy and you slapped $2,000 on the Chiefs,
Oh.
or you got to imagine your daughter's a few years older.
Okay. Easy now.
You find out your daughter comes home, says, "Dad, got good news.
Okay.
I met a nice boy."
Oh. Him?
And it's Lil Golo.
Nope. I'll take the $2,000 hit. Definitely. It doesn't even take me 2 minutes to answer that. I'll take the $2,000 hit.
Griffin, I guess this would have to be your sister.
Right.
No, it wouldn't be your
yeah.
daughter.
Yeah. I mean,
I'll
give
take the hit.
give me a reason to fight that guy, I guess, which would be.
Why would you? What would make you want to fight him?
Because he feels like he can.
How,
Feels like he can even look at my sister. The
Wait,
fact that he
what?
kind of
She
pisses
chose
me
that.
off. No, she doesn't.
She
get to
chose
choose that.
the
She
Wait,
doesn't get to
what
choose that. It's not up to her. She lost. She lost.
What? world is going on in your house? You get to choose who your sister dates?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to allow. As soon as she says, look at this
He
guy.
seems to be doing well. He's making very popular viral videos. He seems to be an accomplished gentleman.
I already lost the $2,000 on the Chiefs, so
It's over. Lost more than that betting on lacrosse last night. Griffin. By the way, if anybody needs any odds and ends, some show snubbled, anything like that. Did I say show snubbled?
Show snubbled.
Anyone needs any show
What's wrong with
snubbled?
you?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Griffin
What
is
kind
available.
of moron bets on the lacrosse games?
Well, Maryland is good at lacrosse.
Yeah, the Maryland Charm, half of it was good. They covered the Charm.
They had a pretty good chance
What's the
to
total
straight up
tonight?
win.
You know?
What's the total tonight?
What's the total tonight?
Drew's like, I didn't know you could bet.
I had no idea.
Now I got to go a different way. I don't know, man. I think you guys are overthinking this a little bit. What do I care if my sister dates? I don't have a daughter.
You're insane.
I got nothing to worry about.
Well, yeah, your sister's
This guy's
an
a
adult.
lunatic.
What do I care if my sister dates? Your sister's an adult too.
She's 19.
That's an adult.
But that's not really an adult.
Okay. I mean,
Keep her away from this maniac.
Thank you, Drew.
I don't know. What do I
She's
care?
a whiz.
God love her.
Guy's going to be wearing a neck brace for 3 months.
Yeah, but he can afford to pay when we go out to dinner. You know,
Influencer. He's under the influence. Lunatic.
I don't know. I think you're selling Lil Golo. He seems like a swell fella, and he's got that.
I will be betting on the Boston Guard tonight.
You're on the Boston Guard. Who are they playing?
They have Charlotte North, so I don't care who they're playing. I don't care who they're playing. They have Charlotte North.
Boston's good, huh?
Well, we don't know. They've never played a game before.
They're good. They have Charlotte North.
But they do have the best player in the world. That part is
Who's that?
They're playing the Cali
Charlotte
Palms.
North.
But who do they have?
Charlotte North.
Yeah, you think that's the name of the team?
Name of the. I thought that. Let's take a break. What about? I mean,
anger.
I mean, honestly,
anger,
this is kind of on you.
Anger.
It's kind of on you.
It's likely.
Boston.
Likely.
He said Boston Guard is playing Charlotte North. What do you expect me to think?
It's sports. Maybe you would know who Charlotte North is. You always come
never
in here
seen her play a.
You always come in here every week.
I've never seen her play.
I actually follow sports. I actually watch sports.
I've never seen her play a lick of lacrosse. Couldn't tell you.
Today's show is also brought to you by County Sports Zone. CountySports.zone. It's proudly sponsored by your local Toyota dealer and buyatoyota.com. Everything you need to know as we move into a high school hoops playoff season, you can find out at CountySports.zone. We come back in. Rubbins Racing. Can't wait to find out what awful open we have for that. Rubbins Racing with Drew Forrester. The definitive what you need to know ahead of the Daytona 500. Maybe the Maryland fans are right. It's Glenn Clark Radio.
Treat yourself and taste the Baltimore tradition that is the legendary Costas Inn. Hey, it's Stan the Fan Charles. For over 50 years, the Costas Inn has been a Baltimore original, dishing out their amazingly scrumptious, fat, award-winning crab cakes and steamed crabs. Every season is crab season at Costas, so make your plans now by calling 410-477-1975 and reserve your taste of heaven. Sit back, crack some crabs, and watch the Ravens chase down another title on Costas' 15 TVs. On Monday nights, Costas offers their half-pound jumbo lump crab cake with 2 sides for under $30, and there are nightly specials Monday through Friday. So head on down to the Costas Inn at 4100 North Point Boulevard or visit them at CostasInn.com.
Make the most out of every day in your Toyota RAV4. Available in hybrid or gas-only models. A RAV4 can get you where you want to go in style. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new RAV4s from your local Toyota dealer today.
The votes were all counted, and the results are official. Royal Farms was named #1 for food in the USA Today 10 Best poll, receiving more votes than any other convenience store chain in America. The next time you want to get some good food fast, doesn't it make sense to go to Royal Farms? Voted best in the USA and home of world-famous chicken. Real fresh, real fast, Royal Farms.
The latest edition of Press Box is available now, and it's our very special Best of 2024 issue. On the cover, we celebrate our Mo Gabba Sports Person of the Year, Lamar Jackson, as Bo Smoka profiles what the quarterback means to the community beyond the football field. Also inside, we celebrate the top people, performances, and moments of the year in local sports. Press Box is available for free at over 500 area locations, including 60 Royal Farm stores, and you can always read the entire issue and find the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps at PressBoxOnline.com.
Need a trophy or award that's as unique as the achievement? Look no further than Crown Trophy. With locations in Owings Mills and Gaithersburg, they specialize in custom trophies, plaques, and medals for any occasion. From sports and academic awards to employee recognition and corporate gifts, visit crowntrophy.com today and let them help you create a lasting memory for your school, team, or business. Crown Trophy is a proud supporter of the Maryland Public Secondary Schools Athletic Association. crowntrophy.com.
One of the things that's definitely wrong with this country is that this dude still has a job somehow, some way. Glenn Clark.
All right, back in here on GCRs. Continue along on a Would You Rather Wednesday edition of the program. Continue to get me your responses at Glenn Clark Radio on Twitter, Facebook.com/Glenn Clark Radio, and someone will win a $30 gift card to Glory Days Grill. Yes, Chris, you're right. It doesn't matter who's the quarterback for the Steelers next year because we do know who's winning the Super Bowl. Dallas Cowboys. Dak told us. He said they're close. They're
close. What else do they need?
Close.
They got the coach?
Said, we're. In fact, he used the quote, very close.
Oh.
Very close is what he said. And hell yeah, brother. Like, who can argue?
How many games they win?
They're right there. They're right. I mean, like, they're in the NFL.
They got 1 in 32
They're
shot
one of the
for
32 teams that has a chance. They're very close. They're a lot closer than the Toronto Argonauts are.
Yeah. Chad Kelly, by the way, you're a 2-time Grey Cup champion, Chad Kelly. Yeah.
You gonna doubt me about my Grey Cup knowledge,
2024
really?
Grey
You gonna
Cup.
really doubt me about what I know about the Grey Cup? Really gonna do that? Yeah. So Dak Prescott says they're close, and who can argue with them? And Chris, I don't know if Chris wanted to give me credit because.
Well, hold on, Chris.
Yeah. Well, no, he's got a point. Chris said, Glenn, got to give you credit that Eric DaCosta interview has been out there for a week, and you haven't bothered to talk about Anquan Bolden at all. The hell. What would I even say, truthfully?
I don't know what happened.
DaCosta did Todd McShay's show last week.
Okay.
And, like, for some reason, on his own, brought back up the Anquan Bolden trade.
The
trade. Todd McShay didn't bring it up. He didn't ask him about
it.
He asked him something else. And Eric DaCosta tried to go out of his way to, like, rewrite the history of why they had to do it.
Right.
Like,
well, Eric didn't do it, though, right? Ozzy did.
Yeah, Ozzy was the
okay.
GM.
Right.
Yeah,
it was a
correct.
salary cap thing, right?
Whatever it was. He didn't even, like, oh, God. I just said I wasn't going to do it.
No, but I mean, it was Ozzy was the one. Eric
Ozzy
didn't do
wanted him to take a $2 million haircut. Ozzy wanted him to play for $4 million.
Right.
He was going to be $6 million.
Right.
And Ozzy said, if you're not willing to, we'll let you go.
Right.
And DaCosta was like, sometimes you just have to do those things, which you absolutely did not have to do.
Right.
There is no you cannot argue that.
What you had to do was find $2 million.
Or not sign.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like what you had to do was find $2 million.
It's this revisionist history thing
Right.
where instead of just saying, hey, yeah, we probably screwed that one up. Like, in hindsight, that was probably a mistake.
Right.
To try to revise it and be like, well, we just had to do it. We had no choice. No, you had lots of choices. You absolutely
find $2 million somewhere
correct.
else.
You did not have to, in any world, get rid of Anquan Bolden.
Right.
It is not a sign of Ozzy's brilliance. It's the exact opposite. There's few things that Ozzy got definitively wrong over the years. And normally, what we always say is...
letting Wilcox go was one of them.
100%. Normally, what we say is that the Ravens were very good at knowing exactly when to let a player go. Like, that was part of Ozzie Newsom's, identity as a general manager, is that usually...
he was good at it.
There was not they made the right decision. Like, this guy, it was not worth the money anymore.
Right, sure.
It was time to move on. Let somebody else pay them. Like, 90%, I would say. But this wasn't one of them. This is not the example to pull up to show when you didn't get this one right. Anquan Bolden was still extraordinarily good for a number of years afterwards and was well worth the money that you would have been paying him. Like, that's okay.
It's okay. Would they have won another Super Bowl? I don't know. It's hard.
If you're going to get rid of somebody, best time to get rid of them is after you've won. But I get it.
Yeah, I mean, right. If you're going to do it.
No, I mean,
yeah,
I always say that.
Bowl.
Like
Right.
if I can't make a harsh decision on a player after we've won, when can I make it? Like, I
Sure.
just won. Leave me alone.
Sure, I
Right.
get that.
Yeah.
And they made other hard. Like, they let Ed Reed go.
Yeah,
and you know what? Like, if you want to make an example, that's your example.
He went to the Jets and was terrible.
We let Ed Reed go.
Right.
And everybody was like,
he went
dude.
to the Texans.
You went to Texas and
then
the
he was
Jets.
terrible.
Yeah, right?
Then he was terrible with the Jets,
He
too.
was terrible with both of them. He wasn't, but they made, that would be the point to bring up.
Well, Haloti Ngata was not great when he left the Ravens.
Yeah, he still had.
He was
still
okay.
had, something.
But he wasn't
But
great.
yes, he wasn't Haloti Ngata necessarily in
Right.
Detroit or in Philadelphia. Like bring up those examples. There's time where to say, well, we had to make a hard decision. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy to move on from Ed Reed. It wasn't easy to move on from Derek Mason when you did it.
Right.
That was a tough offseason with a lot of popular players. But it worked out. You made the right decisions. This one just happened to be the one that you were really wrong on. And that's okay. Like, it doesn't mean that Eric DeCosta shouldn't be the GM or that Ozzie Newsome should have been fired. Sometimes you make the wrong decision. It happens. It's just... Like,
Eric passed on C.J. Mosley, and I think, in hindsight, that was a good move.
Yeah, I would...
They weren't going to pay C.J. Mosley what the Jets gave him.
Yeah, no,
And
I know that. I'm
yeah.
just... Was it a good move?
Yeah.
Like, they did have inside linebacker problems
just
for a
a-
couple of years.
He's
Like,
just okay.
Yeah, Josh Bynes was pretty good.
But that's what they did. Like, when they had
Yeah,
inside
they gave Josh
linebacker
Bynes
problems,
$800,000.
They said this was really what happened. They had a huge problem at inside linebacker. We all forget that, but it was a disaster post C.J. Mosley. And then they said, we'll bring in L.J. Fort and Josh Bynes, and 2 weeks later we were like, yeah, this is okay. Like, this is good enough.
I always thought Mosley was overrated. He was a
like,
nice player.
I both agree with you.
He was a nice player, but he wasn't anything spectacular.
I don't know if you've been following it. Like, there's a huge internal among Ravens fans debate about Roquan Smith that's been going on social media for the last couple of weeks.
Not aware of it.
It's like this. It's civil war
Of the same ilk,
that's existed.
overrated.
That like he's not worth $20 million. The guy that we saw this year isn't worth $20 million. The Ravens screwed that up. They overpaid him. He's not worth that much money.
Well, there's always there's always a chance when you give a guy the money, air quotes, when he cashes in for the one big check he's going to get, there's always a chance his performance is going to dip. It is nature. You're predisposed to trying to elevate your game when you're striving for whatever it is that motivates you. For some players, it's a ring. For players of his age, it's that one. I mean, he's good. Roquan Smith is good. He doesn't have to do anything the rest of his life. He's got generational wealth. He's good. It's very natural for your play performance, because it could even be in the office. It's very natural for your performance to decline when you got what you wanted. And that's why the great ones are able to figure out they reinvent themselves, right? This is not I'm not trying to piss on Roquan Smith. I think it's just very natural. Like, people expect, oh, you got $100 million, now you're going to have to play like
to be even better than you were. Right.
It's not. That's not nature. It's just not. You can argue about it all you want. It's not.
Well, we did that with quarterbacks all the time. We always said once a quarterback gets paid, he's got to lift up everybody else around him, and that's not. There's like one example all time of a quarterback that was able to succeed despite the fact that he didn't have much around him, and that was the one year that Tom Brady didn't have Rob Gronkowski, and they were like, that's it.
Right.
Maybe you want to say Mahomes last year, like maybe.
But and this is what
Travis
happens,
Kelce.
right? This is the danger of this back and forth bantering and this fodder. Like, you're asking a guy to overperform the level of his play, and I'm just going to give you an example because this numbers may not be accurate. He was a 9 when he was striving to get his contract. He was a 9. He got out of Chicago. He came to Baltimore. He saw a new.
I think he was definitively a 9 even after the first year after.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying he was a 9.
Yeah.
He signed the extension.
Right.
He came back. He was an ass kicker. He was still a 9. He's now, this is, I guess, the whole point. He's now a year older. Players coming into the league are younger. He's playing in a division, meaning AFC North. He's playing in a division of very competent team, although maybe this year Cincinnati wasn't.
Very competent offense.
A team that's always hanging around somehow, right? And he's playing in the AFC also, right? And now I'm just making this number up. Now he's a 7.8. Okay.
I don't even know. I think he's still at least an 8. Yeah,
whatever. But it's not like he's a scrub. People look at him now and they go, well, he's not worth $20 million. So what's he worth? 18? Like we argue.
Well, I think we get caught up in those things.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
And what I would
he's
say
still
is,
a nice football player.
Yeah, you absolutely would still rather have.
You
Roquan
had to
Smith
pay
than
him
not,
that,
and you don't get the option of paying him less.
But correct.
Right.
You had to pay him that to keep him. If you didn't want to keep him,
Correct.
You didn't have to pay him that.
But then
and he'd have gone to the Falcons.
You don't get Roquan Smith.
Right.
Right.
So you had to pay him that to get him. And anyone who's ever I don't know how many people on social media have ever done this. Anyone who's ever hired an employee from a search firm has done the exact same thing that an NFL GM does. You've done the exact same thing. There's a position open, and here are the 15 names. Here they are. Mm-hmm. The current guy in the position who just left was making $75,000 a year. Here's these 15 guys. The search firm doesn't come to you and say, these guys will all do the job for $57,500. They come to you and say, we've identified the best 15 candidates for this job. Mm-hmm. It's going to cost you $80,000.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to take him.
Right. You can just take somebody else and pay him $57,500, but you're not going to get the best.
Correct.
Yes, correct.
So when you give him $80,000 a year or whatever the numbers are, when you give him that, right, you meaning the employer, you're hoping you're getting $80,000, $85,000, $90,000. You're hoping you get that kind of production from them for infinite until you decide they're not your employee anymore. But it doesn't always work that way. People have a down year. You lose a client. Someone moves and you lose that job. People are insane.
Things about the market change, whatever it is, 100%.
So it's the same thing. And it's the same thing in football. You play different teams. Maybe last year they played 5 teams who schematically fit Roquan Smith better than they did this year. People just take last year,
right,
cookie cutter, and go, well, you got to do it this year.
Right.
It's not the same thing.
Well, I also
maybe he tweaked his hamstring in August.
Well, I don't also know
who
how
knows?
we're judging that. It's something that it's easier to judge. It's positions that are more driven by statistics.
Correct. That's hard to do as a linebacker.
Right.
I would agree with that. But
I don't know how we're judging that because I think that we're all kind of saying the same thing. We don't remember Roquan Smith making as many game-changing plays this season as he made in the season and a half before that, right? But we also, the first thing that we had was the defense wasn't very good when Roquan Smith showed up. All of a sudden, Roquan Smith showed up, and the defense was worldly better.
And by the way, they've added players, taken players away.
Yes.
People, we all famously remember
defensive coordinators.
We all famously remember Ray Lewis. They came to Ray and said, "Who you want us to pick?"
Yeah, he said, "Give me Haloti Ngata."
Right. He said, "I'll take the big guy from Oregon."
100%.
Everybody thinks that the whole thing is it's a template. It's like in golf, right?
Well, and as was pointed out, the inside linebacker position next to him was not as good this season as it was last year.
Correct.
Patrick Queen was better than the combination of
No
Trent
doubt.
Simpson, Malik Harrison, and Chris
No doubt.
Ford.
But that's what I mean. It's not a template. And I talk about this all the time in golf. I do these golf prediction podcasts and go on and talk about who's going to win this week.
Why you're so rich.
No, yeah, right. Who's going to win this week? This guy, Sam Burns, is better on this type of golf course with fade holes on Bermuda, on the Poana greens than he is when he goes and plays somewhere in Florida with draw holes and they play on Zoysia.
That's what me and my buddies are always talking about.
But that's you can't just say, well, Sam Burns.
It's Georgia this week.
Sam Burns played great last week. He's going to play great again this week. No, he isn't. No, he isn't. And here's why.
Right.
And the same thing you just said with Roquan. Was Was his performance this year, whatever word you want to use, down or off or not up to your expectation? Yeah, probably, yeah. But this goes back to why was it so good last year? Was it just because of him?
Or was it, a far more complete conversation?
How'd Saquon Barkley go from being a bum in New York to being great in Philly? Was it Saquon Barkley? Was it just him?
But he wasn't a bum in New York.
No,
He
but
was
you know
just
what I mean.
hurt.
Right,
Yeah,
but
there
you go.
But that's a tricky conversation, too. Like, he was extraordinary. He was the best version of Saquon Barkley in Philadelphia. But we always knew Saquon Barkley was special. There was no question about his talent. His talent was otherworldly.
He what do you think he would have done with the Giants this year?
Yeah, he would not have had nearly as impactful a season.
He'd have had 1,300 yards.
Yes, obviously, because he was in a much better.
And they'd have been 7 they would have been 5 and 10 or 4 and 10. And when he tweaked his hamstring in practice, he would have said to them, "I'm good."
Probably yes.
This year,
Yep.
If he felt something on a Tuesday or Monday, he would say to the coach, "Hey, let me sit out a couple days, tape me up. I got to play on Sunday night against the Commanders."
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway.
Yep, I get it. I completely
I
get
think Roquan sucked personally.
Yeah, right. You should give the money back. Should do the right thing and say, "I don't want this money."
Right.
All right, you got the open ready?
Yeah, I think I.
All right,
I think I got a good one.
everybody's excited about this. It's a big week, and now
I got a winner.
And now, race fans, for the most famous words in motorsports, the star of Universal Pictures movie, I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry, Kevin James.
True Forrester.
I just got 3 things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
God love him. You know, all the racing fans are also racing out to see. I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry. You know, everybody at that track was like, "Hell yeah, brother! That's the flick for me." Joining us now to get us ready for Daytona 500, he is the host of Rubbins Racing. He's Drew Forrester. Drew is brought to you this week by the print issue of Press Box, which is available still for another couple of days. But that's it. Only a couple more days for the best of issue, and then it's gone to be replaced by a baseball-themed issue of Press Box, which will be on newsstands next week.
Nice.
All those hundreds of locations where you find Press Box, including your neighborhood Royal Farms. You can read it all. PressBoxOnline.com. All right, get us ready.
All right, open up with a little trivia here on Rubbins Racing.
Yes.
Richard Petty. What number was his vehicle?
It's 43.
Sandwich sucks.
Very good.
Yeah, we do know that.
Very good.
You know, are you familiar with the Richard Petty sandwich?
No.
He's a psychopath.
Number 43.
Do you know?
The King. That's why they called him the King.
Hey,
you know how many?
This is dynamite. Hang on a second. Richard Petty had a sandwich that he apparently loved. It was a simplistic sandwich.
It had to be a joke, right? I don't know.
It was 2 things. 2 things. Mayonnaise and black pepper.
Sounds good to me. I'll eat it.
Yeah. Look at it.
I'll eat it.
You look at it, because maybe we'll do that for Rubbins Racing next week.
I'll eat it.
Will you make Drew a Richard Petty sandwich for next week?
Sure.
I 100% will eat it.
Griffin had to do it for a bet once. And
I don't even like mayonnaise.
Yeah.
But I love pepper.
We're going to have a Richard Petty for Rubbins Racing next week, a Richard Petty
Here's
sandwich.
my only thing I'm weird about sandwiches. It's got to be cut in half.
Okay? Make sure you cut that sandwich in half.
I can't eat it if it's not cut in half.
Looking forward to that. All right, sorry. Go ahead. I interrupted your segment.
Yeah, it's all good. Do you know how many career wins he had?
Richard Petty?
Yeah.
100.
No.
200.
On the nose.
Really?
Or 199, one of the two. Check that
This
real
is why
quick.
you're the host of
Check that. He either had 200 on the nose or 199.
This is why you're our guy.
It's like Roberto Clemente. He had 3,000 hits in his career.
How about that? Well, he unfortunately passed.
But he had 3,000 hits.
200 wins on the dot.
I told you.
200 on the
200.
dot.
So there you go. All right.
I know you're the host.
And that's this week's. Now we're getting excited. We are fired up for a great race on Sunday. Joey Logano and Ryan Blaney are your favorites. If you're interested in wagering, you're welcome to. I wouldn't, though, wager on either of those two.
No.
They're not winning.
Okay.
But you have a couple of other household names now. Brad Keselowski, who's become a household name. Kyle Busch.
We're throwing around a household a little bit.
Neither of those two are going to win either. Of course, this is an oddity. This is definitely weird. NASCAR starts their season this week with the Masters.
Yes.
With their biggest race of the year.
The only one that.
And
the
after
average
that,
person
no
might
one
care about.
cares.
Yeah.
It's bizarre. The playoffs people care about.
If
but
you like NASCAR, yeah.
But they start this week, the granddaddy of them all, at Daytona. And we are gung-ho looking forward to it. The weather looks good.
We are gung-ho. Gung-ho.
Well, I am. Weather looks good. No rain in the forecast. Should be a great weekend of racing. Your eventual winner of the race, for those of you inclined to throw a couple of quid on the outcome.
Throwing our quid around, huh?
The winner will be Kyle Larson.
Kyle Larson. What do you like about Kyle Larson this week, Drew?
Really nice driver. Kyle really knows how to drive. He's great at driving. I mean, one of the things that he does, he stands out. When he's driving against other guys, he tends to drive better. And so I like him for that reason mostly.
Jimmy Johnson's racing?
This segment's going better than I thought.
He's a nice driver of the car.
This is every year it seems like there's one of these like celebrity cameo appearances in the Daytona 500. Drivers Pastrana famously ran in the Daytona 500. This year, a lot of controversy surrounding, of course. Well, you're the host of Robbins Racing. I don't want to step
Jimmy Johnson?
I don't want to step on your toes. Well, there's some there, but no, there's a more controversial name in the field. Elio Castroneves.
Oh.
Running the Daytona 500. And you know why that's...
Yeah, he's a 3-time maybe Indy winner.
Maybe. It's not. I'm pretty sure.
I know he's won at least twice.
Won something.
He won at least two times. Yeah, he's not going to do any good. Kyle Larson. I'll go back to Kyle again real quick.
Because he's good at driving.
Very, very adept at steering.
What is it that you like about?
Well, the way he steers the vehicle.
Yeah. Okay.
And and the fact that
makes a lot of left turns.
He does, and he's outstanding at that. And we're just looking forward to seeing Kyle compete. And he is really an up and comer, and I just love the way he drives a car.
It's hard to. I can't really argue with that. I got to be honest.
Plus 1,600 for those of you
interested.
Plus
1,600 for Kyle Larson. Would it be his first Daytona 500 win?
It would be.
How about that?
Yep, it would be.
All right.
And Ricky Steamboat Jr.
Ricky Steamboat. The Dragon.
Plus 2,400. Plus 2,400.
Plus 2,400. He's a former champion of the Daytona 500.
He is.
You want to?
He is. He is. Myles Garrett, Texas A&M.
So you want to sprinkle a couple dollars on from Ricky the Dragon Steamboat?
I would say if you wanted to give me two quasi long shots, I would say AJ Allmendinger.
Oh yeah,
and Ricky Stenhouse.
Now we're speaking the language.
Ricky Stenhouse.
And what do you like about AJ Allmendinger?
It might be his turn.
I hadn't thought about it that way.
Right.
It might be his turn.
Right.
Might be his turn. Is that it for Robbins Racing?
And you know what their new theme is for the year?
What is their
NASCAR?
What is their new theme?
They have a new theme. And part of this is, you remember they had the whole thing with Bubba Wallace?
I do. You know what? I don't know what you're about to do here, but I need you to think about it. I need you to, I'll buy you a second. I just need you to, I want you to run it through your brain a couple times. And then I want you to decide if you really should be committed to it. Whatever it is that you're about to do. I just want, let the right side of the brain pass it off to the left side of the brain. The left side of the brain pass it back to the right side of the brain. Maybe run it by the old cerebral cortex for a second, and then you tell me how committed you are to whatever this bit is about to be. All right? So there you go. I bought you all the time. Now,
NASCAR, where we sometimes have a race problem.
I hate myself. I really hate myself.
Can you see that on the wall? They got in football. They have end racism. Well, NASCAR.
They don't anymore.
They don't anymore because Trump told them no.
It would offend
the president.
Right. The suggestion that we don't have racism.
Right. Trump said take it out. No, you see it on the wall at NASCAR.
End racism. Right. In my America.
Yeah, right. Did you see it on the wall of NASCAR where sometimes we have a race problem? No? All right. I'd get that bumper sticker, but that's just me. All right.
Well, that was
Drew John in Little Rock is upset. He said that Drew, of course, jinxes his guy, Kyle.
That's his guy,
nice.
Kyle Larson.
What's John know about it?
I would get the
Nothing.
hell away from him quickly.
Right.
Brian actually asked if you both had picks for the duels tomorrow night.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's the duels?
That's the races they use to determine how they line up.
Oh, I'll take Logano and and Cedric.
There you go. That's.
I'll take Logano and Cedric.
This is what sports is this week, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, we are having it. We do go through a little bit of a
little down period.
A little bit of a down period.
Could really use some football news. Anything related.
Please,
anything at all.
Somebody get pulled over for something or shoot somebody or do something.
Really use that. Thank you. That's what we could use.
Are we doing a preview of the Genesis or no?
You know, why not? Why not?
Yeah, right.
That's where we are at this point.
Right.
Go ahead. Why not? What do you like about the Genesis?
Well, I'm going to pull the odds up.
Oh, good. Let's do that.
Tiger's not playing, obviously.
Well, I thought he was going to play.
Because of his mother passing away, and apparently he needs time to grieve. Let's see.
Tiger.
Yeah, sorry, Tiger. It doesn't matter, Tiger. They weren't going to do any good anyway. I know who I like. I just want to see the odds. It is a signature event, by the way. So the best field is our best field's playing. Scotty Scheffler plus 400, McIlroy plus 700, Colin Morikawa plus.
Now they're really doing this, knowing they've got a big game to play on Monday. Like really, they're doing. I
don't think they play until Tuesday. Oh no, they do play Monday.
They're choosing to
well, they're going to fly them all.
That's an awful lot of they're putting themselves, I think, at jeopardy.
San Diego this year.
Okay, all right.
This is kind of selfish on their part to be putting in a solo event. These are supposed to be team guys.
I'll take Scotty.
They care about the team.
You think it's Scotty?
Yeah.
And they're
Why
participating in.
I don't think he's played very well at Torrey Pines.
Could you imagine Jalen Hurts the day before the Super Bowl being like, I'm going to go out and play in a punt, pass, and kick competition? Could you imagine him choosing to do that?
Well,
these guys ahead of their big games on Monday are going to play in this what is this thing? The nonsense thing they're going to do?
Genesis Open.
They have to move it.
An individual event? I got to
they
really
had to
question
move
their
it.
dedication to the team, man.
Let me give you a couple names here to consider. I don't think Scotty does not play particularly well out there. I would.
Why is he the favorite, then?
I would not leave because he's Scotty Scheffler.
All right, then that's why I'm betting on him.
Okay, I think that's a mistake personally. But do what do whatever you got to do. I'm just going horses for courses. I think. And what is he? Ludwig Oberg at 2,500 is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how he got to 2,500, but I would give you these four names. Oberg at 2,500. I have a funny feeling Tony Finau is going to play well this week. Plus 4,000 for Finau.
Now, it's because he's good at driving?
He is a good driver of the golf ball.
There you go.
I got two quasi-long shots for you. And they're not long shots, but they're nice odds. I like Taylor Pendrith, the Canadian, at plus 4,000. And I tell you, this guy is on a heater, and he's won out west, and he's having a great start to his year. And I really think Sepp Straka is going to have a huge year. I would put some money on Sepp Straka at 4,500. There's my four. Pendrith, Straka, Finau, and Oberg.
You know what? I can't argue with any of them. They're all great choices. But, again, I have a lot of questions about the selfishness of competing in an individual event like this, knowing
when you got TGL.
You've got a huge team event.
TGL.
When you're supposed to be a team player and you're supposed to – imagine one of these guys gets hurt. Imagine if one of these guys were to get hurt.
Somebody else could step in.
Playing in this nonsense
That's why you have an extra
event.
guy on the team. That's why you have an extra guy.
What's wrong with Max Homa? Why Max
Homa is really struggling, man. You're talking about not being able to drive. He is hitting it all over the map. He is really struggling. Changed equipment. These guys are crazy, man. They go for the money. They change equipment, and then takes them a year to figure it out. I'm telling you.
All right, well, that was whatever this segment was.
Rubbin' Racing.
No. This is still part of Rubbin's Racing?
I thought
Is that what it was?
We could talk to one of the local county councilmen.
Sure. We'll get right on
Some
that.
stations do that still.
We'll get right on that. You got anything else? You good?
No, What else you got? Anything?
Well, we're going to talk to Dante Trader. Do you have anything?
Yeah, I'm good.
I figured as much.
I'm good.
I figured as much.
Pitchers and catchers.
Right, yeah. That's happening.
I'm going to say this, and I don't know that we keep a journal And I don't know how we would rank them. This is a top 5 show of all time. Today.
Oh, yeah. Oh, easily.
Today's the top 5.
Easily.
Top 5 like Drew shows.
That's
top
got
5
the moron in Little Rock. He judges them all.
Calm down. We like John.
Yeah.
Gonna run off both of our listeners.
We like him when he sleeps.
Gonna run them all off right
What's
now.
John's brother doing, by the way?
I don't know.
I think he retired, didn't he?
Move to Vegas?
Yeah, I think he retired. I thought I
No.
saw that. He retired?
Yes, I did see that he retired, but I know.
John,
that
do something useful and tell Jason we said hi.
What do you want to talk about? You got? Is the golf show? We doing
Golf
it?
show's coming back March the
just in time.
2nd?
Just in time for the playoffs. Just
March
in time?
2nd?
Just in time.
Sunday, I think. Yeah.
Is that a Sunday?
Yeah.
Doing the.
Are you still over there doing stuff?
No, I'm not over
They
there.
canned you.
I mean,
I don't know what the last
probably,
guy.
You're probably better off.
There's a big story there that we don't want to talk. We can't talk about.
You're probably better off.
There was an incident.
Okay,
but,
it's all good.
But he's still welcome at Jeremy Kahn's house whenever he wants.
Gotcha.
That's the thing.
Yeah, I think the show starts March 2nd.
Okay, great.
I won't be there the next 2 weeks after that because I'm playing golf.
Go down to spring training.
I mean, I have stuff going on.
What, do you?
Yeah.
Just playing golf though.
But I got stuff. Yeah, I mean,
right.
it's golf. You're allowed to take the golf show when it's golf.
It's Drew Forrester, drewsmorningdish.com. We'll come back in. We'll get a tidbit. We'll get tubular, and then we will talk to Dante Trader to wind things down here on GCR.
COVID-19 and flu viruses are circulating in Maryland. But don't worry, protection is within arm's reach. Protect your health with this year's COVID-19 and flu shots. It's safe and convenient to get them both at the same time. Flex your protection. For more information, visit health.maryland.gov/vaccines.
This message paid for by the Maryland Department of Health.
Whether your focus is luxury and comfort, convenience and technologically advanced connectivity, or sporty performance and aggressive styling, we've got the perfect Highlander for you. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new Highlanders from your local Toyota dealer today.
You're gonna love February at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. Sweeten your Valentine's Day with a chocolate bar February 13th and 14th. Pamper yourself and your partner with Valentine's Day spa discounts February 10th through 21st. Celebrate the Year of the Snake and win a Lunar New Year luxury brand collection February 28th. Plus more ways to play, dine, and win all month. At Arundel Mills, must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
Driving in Maryland? Did you know an Easy Pass from DriveEasyMD.com can save you time and money? Of course you did, because you are a thrifty driver. An antenna reads your Easy Pass transponder and automatically deducts the toll from your Easy Pass account. There, you just saved money with Easy Pass, all without slowing or receiving a notice in the mail. Well done, thrifty driver, well done. Get your Easy Pass at DriveEasyMD.com.
The votes were all counted, and the results are official. Royal Farms was named #1 for food in the USA Today 10 Best poll, receiving more votes than any other convenience store chain in America. The next time you want to get some good food fast, doesn't it make sense to go to Royal Farms? Voted best in the USA and home of world-famous chicken. Real fresh, real fast, Royal Farms.
Contrary to what some people believe, I actually like this guy when he sleeps. Glenn Clark, talking sports.
So are you going to get the kid breakfast or not? Like, he said he'd pay. I mean, is he paying for you? Is he offering to buy you breakfast? Or, like, just
the shipping and handling fees.
Correct. He's going to chip in for gas? Like, I do have questions about how this is all working out. Drew apparently got a text from his son requesting breakfast because his son's not at school today, because why would the kids be at school today?
They did a good job with the roads, I will say.
It was one of the more pleasant drives. Now, look, I know the argument would be because they closed schools, so there was less people on the roads. It couldn't have been an easier drive-in. South of the city, I don't know. Maybe it was a real problem.
What did you get?
I don't know.
What Margaret get?
Yeah. Right. Well, Margaret.
What?
Yeah. Go ahead. Do it. Just go ahead. Go ahead. You're on your way out. Go ahead. What are we doing? Do the whole thing.
I'm just asking.
I mean, we've had a hell of a show.
What'd you get? 3 inches?
Yeah. Expecting 6.
I see. That's right. I told you that time in D.C. That time I'm newly married.
Yeah.
And that crazy maniac Cantori says, Baltimore, D.C., you guys thought you were getting 8 inches. You wound up getting more like 4 inches. And my wife goes, yeah, we've all heard that before.
Yeah.
I'm like,
hello.
We've been married for a week. We've been married for a week. Like, how could you mumble that under your breath?
Man.
I'm right here.
Hey, man.
It was like the scene in Hangover when they were all talking about Ed Helms' wife, a girlfriend, and he's like, I'm here, right? I'm right here.
It was a dentist.
Right.
All right, you good?
Anyway.
It was a waiter. That's what it was.
It was a waiter on a cruise ship. Yeah, I think so. I mean, unless you want me to carry the rest of the show.
No, I think we're good. I think we're
Most Daytona 500 wins all time?
Oh.
It's not Dale Earnhardt. We know that.
It's not Dale. There's
He did win one, though. Raise hell, praise Dale.
Yeah, that was probably might have been organized. But
Junior
anyway.
won twice.
Yeah, Junior won twice.
All time. It's got to be Petty.
Yeah, 7.
Yeah. I mean, I know racing.
One guy with 4?
Jeff Gordon.
No, Jeff Gordon had
Jimmy
3.
Johnson.
Nope.
No.
Jimmy only twice.
What Gordon win? 3?
3.
Mark Martin.
No. Moron.
Naming drivers.
4 times. The interesting thing is Petty was like Tiger. It seems weird that someone
Cale Yarborough.
No, I would say Cale Yarborough. That's my guess.
Cale Yarborough.
That's my guess.
4
right.
Daytona wins.
But that's weird, right? That he would have won during Petty's reign. Right. Okay.
All right. Anything else?
John Colson wants me to come back in tomorrow.
Oh, weird.
And Friday.
That's
I'm like,
strange. You think he would have run that? Maybe they're adding a show. Like they wanted you to come
show
in
ever.
He wanted you to come in at noon, maybe, and do a show after.
No, he
mine,
says
or?
best show ever.
He wanted you to come in at 10 tomorrow.
Oh, and in parentheses, he said, "Don't tell Glenn."
Ah, well, you got that. Yeah.
Too bad you're slow reader.
Kind of screwed that up by telling me,
Don't tell Glenn. Okay.
Can we
All right.
get a tidbit? I'm sorry. I'm
That's about it for me.
Yeah, I think we all agree. General.
I don't have anything else for you.
Yeah.
Go
You
Terps.
put a hell of an effort in. Yeah. How you feeling about tomorrow night?
It's at Nebraska?
It is at Nebraska. Nebraska's been hot recently.
They have been hot. You know what? Honestly,
it's a big game though.
It is a huge game.
Big game.
And
they could really use a win.
Yeah, I mean we're coming around now to where they all start to matter.
Plus, they look good in red.
They do, and I don't see them losing to those guys.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Yeah.
The 71-60. Damn it! Come on, man. I can't even do it. 71-66 Nebraska.
Tidbit is brought
I
to
gotta
you
get
today
out
by
of here. There's too much coffee. I gotta go.
The Fan Variety Hour. You missed it this week. Stan and Ross caught up with John Miller, author of The Last Manager. It's coming out in March, all about Earl Weaver. And still to come this week, they'll chat with Stan will chat with AJ Gersh, the new a sports reporter at Fox 45. Facebook.com/PressBoxSports. YouTube.com/PressBoxOnline. PressBoxOnline.com/video. All of Stan's shows brought to you by the Costas Inn. Tidbits.
The Saints officially hiring Kellen Moore as their head coach. Interesting connection between the quarterback of the Saints and now the head coach of the Saints.
They were in the same draft class.
They no, they're not in the same draft class, but they did play against each other.
Fresno State and Boise State.
Fresno and Boise back in the day, back in October 2011. Kellen Moore's number 5 ranked Boise State Broncos. They routed the Fresno State Bulldogs 57-7.
Ah. What are you even doing on the? What the hell's the point of any of this?
So yeah, maybe maybe to Drew's point, then why he saw this guy up close and personal.
Go get him.
Maybe there's no chance Derek Carr is Kellen Moore's guy. So who knows? What else? Some college basketball last night as Kentucky got another win over over Tennessee last night. It was the 7th AP Top 15 win for new head coach Mark Pope. The last time a coach had that many Top 15 wins in his first season as the head coach at any school was 97-98 season.
First year, 97-98. Was that Billy Donovan?
Not Billy Donovan. Tubby Smith, Kentucky's own.
Right.
Tubby Smith had 8 top 15 wins as Kentucky went on to win the national championships that year. So maybe, Mark Pope following the following the same exact path here. Maybe you get your Kentucky championship bets in. Liam McNeely came back for UConn.
Oh, yeah.
And,
had a hell of a night last night.
Had a crazy night. He is just one of 3 Division I freshmen of the last 20 years. He had 37, 38, and 10 rebounds. One of 3 freshmen over the last 20 years to have 30 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 made threes in a road game. One of 3.
Since when?
The last 20 seasons. So since
30 points, 5 made threes.
5 made threes, 10 boards.
Durant.
Kevin Durant did this 3 times.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? He had a hell of a season, man. It was unbelievable. Melo.
Not Melo. I think
Rebounds.
would that have been over 20 years, too?
Would it have been?
It's possible he didn't do it.
No, you're
but
right. It probably
it would
have been right on that edge. What year was it? Was it 03? Maybe it was 03. You might be right. It might be beyond 20 years. All right, then.
Someone's like, geez, they took Odin over Durant that year.
Hey, man. Stuff happens. Odin was a hell of a player in college, Doc. He was really good. How about as a freshman?
He did this in December of 2006.
I would have guessed Durant.
He probably did do. I'm sure. I don't have the exact games. It just says that he did it 3 times, but potentially that he did it that month.
December of 06, another freshman.
And he did not.
Dwayne Wade wasn't a freshman, no.
Not Dwayne Wade, and because he stayed at school for all 4 seasons.
He stayed at school for all 4 seasons. Was it Steph?
It was
somehow?
Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Steph Curry.
The rebounds make that
10 boards, 30 points in a road game with Davidson. So yeah, there you go.
Right.
Then yeah, I guess I kind of wanted. I guess I should have just spoke up early and had Drew guess the other 30,000 point scorers, but I guess.
Oh. Okay.
As Kevin Durant, as we touched on it, 8th player.
So it's LeBron.
LeBron at number 1, yeah.
It's Kareem.
Kareem at number 2.
It's Malone.
Karl Malone 3rd.
I was going to try to do it in order, but I don't think I know who's after that. Like, it's one of 2 guys. I know who the next 2 guys are, but I don't know which order they're in. Jordan
is 5th.
5th because Kobe's 4th.
Kobe's 4th, yeah.
Damn. And then it's Wilt.
Wilt is 7th.
So it's Dirk.
Dirk at 6th,
and
yeah.
then
Dirk, Wilt, and then KD.
Yeah.
Only 8 players.
Who's after that?
30,000.
Oh God, I know Melo's still in the top 10, right?
Yeah, Melo's 10th right
He's
now.
10th. So is it Shaq that's 9th?
Shaq is 9th, yeah. 28,500 for Shaq.
I deserve a little credit for that.
Yeah, good job. You got the whole
it's
top
not,
10 there.
it
11th? I don't know. Moses Malone.
Oh, Moses Malone. Okay. All right.
Next active
Maryland
guy.
legend Moses Malone, of course.
Next active guy on the list with 26,900, James Harden, 14th all-time right now.
I was trying to think if I would guess him or Curry, right? Like that's where I was.
There's one guy ahead of Curry.
There's a guy ahead of Curry.
Still
Is it Westbrook?
Yeah, Russ. Yeah. Russ at 25,000, but yeah, Curry sitting at 24,700. So yeah, he'll catch Russ, I assume.
Presumably, yeah.
Yeah. DeMar DeRozan
is the next one.
They're 28th all time. Yeah. DeMar DeRozan.
That like. You know what's crazy about that is that like that really would argue that DeMar DeRozan is a Hall of Famer, and no one would feel like they could make that argument.
He's sitting right in between Steph and Ray Allen.
This is the nuts part. Somebody
he's going to catch Patrick Ewing. He's going to catch Jerry
I don't know
West.
who I saw
Reggie
talking
Miller.
about this. It was somebody on Kay Adams' show talking about the small Hall of Fame class that was in the Hall of Fame, and was like, well, I think all those guys are gonna get in, and I'm like, right. Well, then what is the point of not putting them in? Like, he was trying to like have it both ways. She was like, are you glad that it's more inclusive? And he was like, well, yeah, you don't want it to be like the Basketball Hall of Fame where they're just putting anybody in. And then she said, so you don't think these guys are Hall of Fame? And she wasn't trying to grill him because that's not really what Kay Adams does. She was like, so, like, you don't know that these guys are really worthy of the Hall of Fame? And then he was like, no, I think they are, and I think they're going to get in. I'm like, well, then what are we doing? I think this is I think all these guys that are in, it becomes like a gatekeeping thing. Like, I want it to be that I want it to sound like I'm in a really tough group to get into.
Dwight Freeney, was that who?
Was that who it was? Maybe
That's
it
what
was
it looked
Dwight
like.
Freeney. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, I want it to seem like I'm in a group that's really tough to get into. But, like, now go tell Luke Kuechly that he's not a Hall of Famer.
Mm-hmm.
That you're definitively more deserving of being in the Hall of Fame than Luke Kuechly is. Go ahead. With no disrespect to Dwight Freeney, who is obviously a Hall of Famer. But so is Luke Kuechly. Tell Dwight Freeney how much better he was than Terrell Suggs. I'll wait. How much greater was Dwight Freeney than Terrell Suggs? And I'm not trying to go war on Dwight Freeney. It's just, this is nonsense. And the good news for them is that because it's buried, like the Super Bowl happened 2 days later, the same night that they made a horrible MVP pick. Like, nobody's going to talk about it. And it's just going to continue. And it's asinine. Like, it's utterly asinine that you would make it more difficult to get into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. The most difficult one to get into, the one where there is always a list of guys that you know are Hall of Famers every year. The Baseball Hall of Fame, we can debate. Like, Stan really thinks Bobby Abreu is a Hall of Famer. But we're not all sitting here saying, God, it is nonsense that Bobby Abreu isn't. I love Andrew Jones. But it's not nonsense that Andrew Jones hasn't gotten into the Hall of Fame yet. I understand. There's a real debate there. Like a genuine, I think he's a Hall of Famer, but I understand. Luke Kuechly? Reggie Wayne? This is the best way to present it to Dwight Freeney.
Right.
You're glad your guy, the guy that helped you, you glad that guy has to wait? Nonsense.
And Dwight Freeney's going to say, well, I won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, right. 100%. All right. Tidbit was also brought to you by the CIAA tournament.
That's right. Baltimore is welcoming the excitement of the Food Lion CIAA men's and women's basketball tournament back to CFG Bank Arena February 25th through March 1st. Get your tickets. They are available now at Ticketmaster.com. Again, head over to Ticketmaster.com for your Food Lion CIAA men's and women's basketball tournament tickets to CFG Bank Arena February 25th through March 1st.
All right. Very good. Let's get tubular.
Have you ever thought of taking a cruise to these wonderful destinations with sunny skies and beautiful beaches? Well, wait no longer. We're ready for you to cruise from the Cruise Maryland Terminal.
Have a little phrase that you can go from baggage to margarita in about 15 minutes.
Choose fun with an array of destinations, onboard activities, entertainment, and world-class cuisine.
Contact your travel agent and book your cruise today. Let your adventure begin.
All right, here's what's coming up tonight, totally tubular-wise. 2 local hoops teams are in action this evening. Loyola at home against Army at 7 o'clock. Navy at home against Lehigh at 7 o'clock, both on ESPN+. Plus the PLL and WLL Championship Series continue tonight. Cannons Archers at 7. Boston Guard California Palms at 9. And Griffin's all over Boston in that one.
We'll take the Guard.
All of that on ESPN+. Big Ten hoops tonight, Iowa Rutgers, 6:30 on Big Ten Network. Washington, Ohio State at 8:30. The rest of the college basketball, find at GlennClarkRadio.com. Daytona 500 qualifying tonight at 8 on Fox Sports 1. But remember, that's just for like the top 2 spots. Daytona 500 qualifying, and then everybody else you have races for. Monumental Pacers Wizards, 7 o'clock. ESPN Spurs Celtics at 7. Warriors Mavericks at 9:30. The Four Nations face-off. Hell yeah, brother.
USA.
Well, they're not playing tonight. Canada, Sweden
later
tonight at 8 on TNT and True TV and TBS for AW Dynamite tonight at 8 as well. Non-sports.
There really is not a whole lot tonight. Abbott Elementary got a new episode of that on ABC, and that is the season 47 finale of Inside the NFL, because everyone's into that on the CW. And that's really it. Seth Meyers is going to have John Hamm on, I guess, to talk about why he lost the head-to-head announcing thing with Bradley Cooper and
right,
basically
he was doing
failed
the
the Chiefs.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. Amy Poehler and Tina Fey will be on Fallon because they're touring or something.
Oh no, I could have sworn they were promoting Severance.
Oh, they're doing Severance.
I think that's what that was.
Guest starring, I guess.
Yeah.
Good for them. They're spoiling.
No,
it
I
before.
just think they're big fans.
Oh,
I think that's what it is. They just go on to shows to tell you to watch
Severance? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Interesting.
Well, and also, I think, you know what it is, too? I think John Hamm is plugging that they just announced the lineup for Ocean's Calling. And I think he was plugging Ocean's Calling is what he was doing. Because it's a big festival, Ocean City. It happens every year. They just announced the lineup. Noah Khan is going to be part of it. Green Day, Weezer, Fall Out Boy, the whole thing. I just think that he is very excited and wanted to tell everybody about it.
All right. Well, I appreciate that, John. Yeah. So helping out a little bit. Edward Norton and Chris Stefano will be on Kimmel.
Oh, they're plugging the Daytona 500.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Good for that.
Maryland's
big
own
racing.
Edward Norton. You would think that he would be more interested in Ocean's Calling, but he's actually really fired up.
He's
for,
a big race guy.
Yeah. He's there to talk about the Daytona 500. Yeah.
Well, you can find out more about it on Kimmel tonight.
100%. The TGL, I think, too. Also, it's a double promotion, the Daytona 500, and then three matches.
And Norton's DeStefano together are promoting
yes,
both.
Correct. Yes, they tour. They go. They're actually doing all the shows this week in order to talk.
Got it. All right. Cool.
The Brigands Winter Soiree. I believe they're also promoting the Brigands Brigade.
Good for them.
1 week from Friday night. Martins West, brigandsbrigade.org. That's how you get your tickets for the Brigands Brigade Winter Soiree. Great live music. This is going to be an awesome event. Go check it out, brigandsbrigade.org, to benefit those that are battling ALS and the families that support them. Thanks today to Drew. Thanks to Matt Rambo. Thanks also to, you're about to hear from Dante Trader. We'll get all of it up in the greatest hits section of the
Can You Take Me Higher?
tab at glennclarkradio.com. Tomorrow on the program, Mike DeCourcy from Fox Sports, Big Ten Network, is going to join us. We'll talk some Terps as they get back in action. That's it.
Stuff and things, yeah. Terps back in action tomorrow. Stuff to talk about.
Thanks to everybody at PressBox, all of our great sponsors and partners, including
Day 3 of the PLL WLL.
Right, Brigands Brigade. Also, thanks to the CIAA tournament. Live Casino and Hotel, Cruise Maryland, Crown Trophy, Easy Pass, Royal Farms, HelpMyGamblingProblem.org, The Costa Sin, MSAA, Maryland Sports, your local Toyota dealer, buyatoyota.com. Thanks to Griffin at Griffin_Bass. Follow us, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, at Glenn Clark Radio. Have a great Wednesday evening. Go Loyola. Go Navy Hoops. Duke sucks. We wrap up today's show. Had the opportunity to do this. We actually caught up last night as he's training for the Combine next week. Former Terps safety Dante Trader right here on GCR.
Well, it's a pleasure to catch up with our next guest. He was just down at the Senior Bowl and getting ready for the NFL Combine. He had an unbelievable 4 years at the University of Maryland. But most importantly, I appreciate Dante Trader that unlike everyone else in the Maryland Lacrosse fan base, you're not livid with me for my call of Keegan's game winner on Saturday. I work for Loyola. It's just what it is. You know I'm a Maryland guy too. But it was going to be a big win for us. It was going to...
You got to protect yourself, protect your job at the end of the day. You can't show your true colors, but, overall, do good, smooth.
I appreciate you, bro. It's always good to talk to you, man. Dante Trader, of course, is who's with us. Dante, I just wonder for you, you're down there in Alabama.
Yep.
Do you have, a moment of feeling where you say, holy crap, this is real? I know you haven't put a jersey on yet. You haven't heard your name called, but, talking to all the GMs, all the teams down there, being on the field around all that, do you have one of those pinch me moments yo, this is the dream that I dreamed. I'm living it now.
And it's crazy because I was trying to wonder before I went down there when that moment was going to come. It was on the plane.
Really?
Yeah, you get into the airport and you seeing guys with school backpacks and everybody's taller, and then you see the whole airport looking at it. It was we're all funneled, the same boarding group. So you're they're all going to Alabama. He's all right, these are all the the guys I'm gonna be either on the team with or competing against. I said, okay, this is real. This is, yeah. So then when we land in Mobile and the Senior Bowl people are there, and you just got a flock, it's like 30 guys that came off that plane, and I'm like, okay, like it's real, and it started to hit me. You get that feeling, and it's like, all right, it's time to go. But like once I had like got there and you kind of warm up, like even talking to the teams and talking to the scouts, it's like, okay, you already had that establishment, that aha moment, that like, whoa, like I'm here now. So like you kind of just relax. So I kind of want to be then, or like the first time I stepped on the field, but it was more like when I got on the plane.
I mean, that's wild, right? Because like I can imagine you looking around. Is there a part where you're like, wait, I'm one of them? Like, do you have to go through that where you're like,
Yeah, like everybody has to go through that. I mean, if they, you know, man, I'm proud of you if you can do it without having to go through that. Like your level of like just, tunnel vision is good. But me, I'm like, I came so far, and that's all that was. It was no nervousness. It wasn't no doubt on my own time. It's like I came so far and never would have thought that I would have been here. But my process and, you know, the trajectory God allowed me to go to where I am is just like I did it. Like I'm here. Like I'm really here. So it was really one of those moments, like you looking back on your journey, and it's like, man, they don't know what I went through and the valleys and peaks just to get here. So
you talk about those valleys, those peaks, right? Like, and really even within the 4 years at Maryland, but before that, McDonough from Delaware. Do you feel like your path has maybe better prepared you for this, like this job interview, this grind that even after whenever you hear your name called, like nothing's going to be given to you? Do you feel like you're in a different place? And I know from all the conversations we have, like you're about as sharp as a human being as there is. But like, do you feel like that you're in a better place than maybe some other guys would be for handling all of what's about to come your way in the next 6 months?
yeah, most definitely. I wouldn't say like, comparing anybody's life, like I'm more prepared or less prepared than anybody else. Everybody has their own race to run. But in terms of mine, like I gained the endurance and the resiliency from those years. And that's what this whole process is. Like, teammates, oh, this is gonna be the longest year of your life. Like you go from the fall to this process to another season that you don't have a break until around this time come next year. So it's just like, those trials and tribulations that I had at McDonough School and learning about mental health and learning about those battles I'm gonna have to deal with, and then going into college, like, playing the two sports and getting the mental toughness and the ups and downs, the injuries, and, playing on the Maryland football where you had some teammates, pass away, you had losing seasons, winning seasons, like then you were able to play multiple, fronts, multiple schemes. Like you just get a combination of all types of things in life that you don't necessarily realize until you're out of it. So now I'm in this process, and you realize like I'm well balanced in a lot of things because of my process from from high school to college. If it's on the field, off the field, in my head, everything has shaped me to have, a good foundation to be able to weather the storms that I'm going to face. Like you're gonna have to go through a storm. You're gonna be either going into one, in one, or coming out of one. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all this process is. Like one day you go up training, get nicked up, you got to deal with that. Like you got some stuff going on back home while you're in this process, got to deal with that. Like you having some wins, got to deal with that to be able to not be complacent. Like there's a lot of things that you got to deal with, positive and negatively. You know, that if your experience and what you went through in your old times didn't prepare you for that, you won't be able to last. So I know it's a long answer, but
no, dude, I love that. Like, I love that, and I appreciate the thoughtfulness of it. He's former Maryland safety Dante Trader. I hate saying former. I don't like that, but he's former Maryland safety Dante Trader. He's with us here on GCR. When did you know? Like, I remember talking to you in the spring, and you were talking about why you weren't going to play lacrosse again, and it was clear that you were thinking about this part of your life. But when did you realize this part was going to be real? Was there a moment? Like, did you get a call from somebody who said, dude, I'm talking to these scouts. They love, like, was there a game? Like, did you have a moment where it hit you like, this isn't just a dream. This really is going to be part of the rest of my life?
it was more like little divots of that first year of starting. So 2022, and it was with Bo Grade, and I had a, pretty good coming out year, solid for the first year of starting. And I'm like, okay, you play against CJ Strouds and all these great teams, and you're going against the best competition in the Big Ten, Michigan, and all these teams. You like, I'm balling in these big games. You know what I'm saying? And my coaches are telling me this, and I'm going against guys that are projected this or this, and I'm like with them. I'm like, okay. Like you start to get that little sense of I like to be tunnel vision. I like to be totally humble and just be chilling. Like, I don't like to think about stuff like that, but you kind of do. Um, then go into lacrosse season, do what I had to do. And then I'm just like, one, the body takes a lot of that. Like you have no break. So then you're just like, okay, a mixture of I can do this. And a mixture of like your body is like, okay, you gotta make a decision. Like you always had a dream of going to play in the NFL, and now that it's looking promising, I gotta go. And the only way I can go is if I take some weight off of me and get a true off season and heal and recover. You know what I'm saying? So it was a mixture of a lot of things.
You, of course, are known for like a lot of, besides just on the field stuff, what you do in meeting rooms, right? Like the way that you led your football team, right? Where did that stuff come from for you? Beyond Dante Trader, the athlete, where did that side of you come from? The leadership, the guy that was known for everything that you were doing to help prepare your team during the course of the week.
It was natural. It's always the leadership always came natural to me. Like every phase, most of the 90% of the teams I've ever been on for every sport, like and even in school, like if I was in a group, like I like to take charge. It was just a natural thing. Like I just want to put there's any pressure to put it on me. And I feel like I do what I preach, and like I'm pretty straight on in a lot of the factors of my life. So I feel like I'm, you know, have the qualities to be a leader before even being a leader. And then coming into school, like, I'm looking how leaders are leading. And I'm like, man, I wish I had somebody that I could truly follow. And this was like early Maryland. So I was like, when I get the chance, it's gonna be by fire. I'm gonna figure it out, but I'm gonna learn every individual and how I can push them because that's how I wanted to be leaded. So I kind of took how I wanted to be leaded and then put it into that. So every time I went back, it was like, okay, what would young Dante need? Or what would young Dante need a leader to do for him? And that's kind of how I modeled my leadership. So once I got into it, things started to work and people started to gravitate towards me. And then I realized I can do this. But then I have like people in my life, like, Coach Ryan Davis, my strength coach, and Brian Williams, DC, and even my position coach, Coach Spav, like they teaching me how to be a leader, giving me nitpicks, and I can go talk to them about some tough times I'm having. Like leaders have the toughest times. Like leading is not easy. People think it's just cut. No, it's very hard. But all that came from like how I wanted to be led.
Do you feel like that's something that teams know about you as you go through like when you're down there, are they recognizing like that's what you're all about? And do you feel like that's something that you're going to bring, to the next level, even maybe as a rookie, even as a young guy who's just supposed to come in and be like, I'm happy to be here. Do you feel like you could do that at the NFL level?
Oh, for sure, for sure. And there'll be a little adjustment. Like I'll have to adjust. These are grown men you're talking about. We're grown in college, but there's even more grown men. Like they got damn
millionaires. Like
you can have from 20 years old to 40 years old. It's a big jump. So that leadership's gonna, someone's gonna translate, but a lot is gonna change because the culture changes. But yeah, when I went down there to Mobile, like they kind of knew, especially from scouting me and inside of Maryland. People speak highly about my leadership qualities, and I don't do it for that. It's just natural. I just like to be the head of the snake. If you're gonna bash somebody, bash me because I know I can take it and get the stuff done. So it was more of it, one being natural, and two, like people around me speak good on me. I don't know. Like
dude, you've got a serious reputation for that. And that's a good thing. Like that's obviously like it's the exact type of thing that you want people to be saying about you, but it's because it's real. And I think that's significant. I do think the really cool thing, and I got to remember, it was the Jason Witten Man of the Year award, right? Like, and I know you didn't end up being the one, but just going as far in that process, all of the things that you've accomplished, I would have to think that would have some sort of special meaning because, again, it goes beyond just natural gifts or, something that you do on the field.
Yeah, I mean, those awards, like, they're cool and all. Like, they're cool and all to me. But again, like me, I never done it for that, and like the one I didn't even know about those awards, so like it's all genuine from the heart. Like before I did all that, like backpack drives, I speak in the
Yeah.
community, speak back home. Kids DM me all this time. I work with a nonprofit back home called Off Street Sports Performance. Like we mentor under underprivileged youth that are at risk. So we offer like tutoring, we offer training, we offer a lot of things just to get them, in a good trajectory if things are going wrong at home. So it's always been since I was young though. Um, so it's just like that's just how I am. Like I like to give back because there's always people in people's lives that help them elevate. So why not give back? That's the best thing to do.
I love that, man. All right, so let's talk about how it's funny because when I was doing Loyola Maryland, I was thinking last week, like you, Jared, obviously before you, Will Yateman years before
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
On the flip side, Loyola, of course, Pat Spencer playing in the NBA.
Yeah.
Like, are the best. Is there something about lacrosse that just makes athletes better? Is there something that translates that allows you to improve from sport to sport?
I don't know. I that's a hard like I would say that if there was a lot of players that did it.
It's still a pretty small group. You're right.
It's a small group, but if it was a lot of players, you could say that. But and it's different for everybody. Like you just have to have that. You got to be crazy to be able to do it. But two, I just think the drive of lacrosse players allows them to have success in other sports, if that makes sense.
No, I think it makes sense. I think the crazy part about you is you're a little bit different. You were a D midi, like you were killing people. You were like was part of that. Like again, the parallel between the way that you play safety and how there's no fear. Like we watched you play, there is no fear to your game. Was there a parallel between doing those two things for you?
I mean, yeah, I definitely say the football helped me translate to knocking people out in lacrosse, which I tried to do if I could without getting a penalty. Someone wanted some of those penalties back. But yeah, I'd say like the football translation like to lacrosse was like my tenacity and the confidence. Like I was out there, like we had a thing called Joker, like it's like an unfavorable matchup. If a D-man got on like the number one guy, I used to like Coach Bernhardt's gonna know now. Like I used to purposely switch off a pick so I could get on to the guy. And then I used to tell like Makar and Zap not to help me. Like I'm like, bro, do not slide to me. Because I don't like playing off ball. And like most of them never slid if you watch the games, but they didn't have to. But it was just yeah, like that confidence and the tenacity transferred. And then like lacrosse to football, I would say the mentality and mindset of like because lacrosse is very mental. Like you got to be like if you the best player cannot be confident and he'll miss. They'll get caged. He'll drop balls. Like he just won't be there. And then like the running aptitude and there's just a lot of things mentally in that game that could throw you off. Where it's like that will get exposed in football. Like I could be not confident, the ball not come my way, and I would be fine. Or like I can be not as mentally. I don't have to prepare, and I can be fine. Lacrosse is not that way. You will get exposed. You're gonna touch the ball in some way. It's just gonna happen. You will get exposed. So I think the lacrosse allowed me to have like some resiliency in like football because definitely like defensive back, like you're on an island and it's just a lot. Like, but it kind of like plays both in hand, like the confidence. So
when I bring up those guys, I do you think at all, is there any thought in your mind like I should keep trying to pick up a little bit in case the Olympics, like that's a thing. Like, do you have any thought about that? Or is it totally like, no, dude, I can't spend 3 seconds doing anything other than preparing for my life in the NFL?
Yeah, it's just all football.
Yeah.
Like if I'm old and still got it after I'll go play D mid. Like, I was an offensive guy my whole career, but the reps you lose of not hitting the wall and shooting, that you could lose some of it.
Yeah.
I could, I could still go shoot, but that ball whips around and I don't got time to be dropping passes and not be sharp with my passes. So
I get it. I completely understand. And I think you're going to be all right for a long time. So I don't think it's something you're going to have to worry about too much. What do you, like when you go through this, what's the thing that maybe you still think people don't know about you? Like maybe your reputation is what it is. The film says what it. But is there something that you still don't know that GM scouts, teams realize about you and the player that you're going to be at the next level?
I think they pretty much know and scratch all the areas to find because I was pretty clean and people can just see and I put it all out there. But I would just say the level of like competitiveness and my drive is like you have to see those things in person. Like they got a glimpse of like some of the things like, you know, me, I kind of say myself as like a pest or alley cat, like, and to make that make sense, like one, you can't kill me. Like you could put me in many situations, you may get me like, but like I'm gonna always find a way to land on my feet and always find a way to win. And that's just because I can been scratching and clawing all my life. So you'll never have to worry about me giving in or giving up. So like just whatever position you put me in, whatever, like I'm flexible, like I can make it out of a lot of stuff. And that's just it. And then my drive to just get better and be a best competitor, like whatever coaching, like you can't break me. Like you say you do this, do that, watch. You can come back after hours. I bet you'll see me working on it or come back in the morning. I'll be working like it's just that level of drive. And like I just hate to be terrible at something. Like I'm competitive at everything. Like whatever phase of my life you want, if it's a card game, you beat me, like I'm gonna go watch some tape, some YouTube on how to get better, and I bet you the next time.
What's your go-to card game then? Like
I don't play cards, but I play chess.
Right.
I play chess though.
So did we talk about? Because I remember there being like a chess tournament, right?
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah. Who won the chess tournaments?
Yeah, Chance beat me.
Yeah,
everybody knew it was gonna be between me and him, and like, you kind of lose your focus a little bit. I was just like, it's different than playing on a board.
Yeah,
staring at a screen for like 3 hours, and like, I'm sitting there like, I was mad. I was like, bro, I missed some moves to beat him, and I was just like, I rewatched the game. I said, bro, it's all good though.
Okay, so are you like that no matter what you're doing when you compete? Like, do you not have like the off switch? Like, if everybody's throwing like cornhole or throwing frisbee, like, are you?
Don't even get me started on cornhole.
Yeah.
We'll be on the board all day, and like, I'm one of those sponges too. Like, if you better than me, or even like something, if I don't think you're better than me, like I'm still watching. Like, okay, like he has this throw and it kind of works for him. Let me try it. If it works and it makes me better, man,
I love it. I love that, man. All right, so we know that last year didn't go the way that you guys wanted it to go. We're aware of that, sure. Right? Did that? What do you take from something like that? Does it go back to what we talked about before, where like, hey, even that's a learning experience. Even that helps with the way that you build and you deal with that. But like, what do you take from a year that clearly didn't go the way that you guys wanted it to as you continue on this process?
It teaches you a lot of lessons, and the biggest lesson it teaches me is being solution oriented. Right? You switch a mindset, because when you go 4-8, you gotta get back to, you're gonna be questioning, do you want to do this? Why am I doing this? How am I doing this? Like am I wasting my time with certain things? Like stuff is not working. You can easily give into all those thoughts that come through everybody's head when you're losing. And that's normal, right? And then you got to switch out of that poor me, and you're in it. You signed up for it. Like when you signed up to play football, they didn't say, hey, you're going to win X amount of games. You signed up to compete every game, 1-game seasons every week, right? So regardless of the outcome, like I learned you got to stay solution oriented. So it's like, okay, we lost this game. You can sit there and be mad about it, or you can figure out how we're going to get better. If it's on and off the field, what's going on? And each week you keep doing that. Then you build habits and build resiliency in your brain to know, like, okay, even when something off the field happens, it's like, yeah, I can be mad about it for 3 weeks, but I'm not going to get nothing done. I'm getting nothing progress out of it. Can't change it. Rather being solution oriented. So, okay, how do I change this? How do I be better? How do I get out of this quicker, right? Once you have that progress and growth mindset, it affects all like aspects of your life. And that's kind of like the biggest thing I take away. Like, and it's like, it's normal. Like it is kind of funny. Like, the fans be on you, like, negatively and positively. that kind of shapes you too. Like, life is hard. Like if you ain't producing, like
Can you block it all out, or do you want that? Are you like
let's be real. Let's be real. As an athlete, like if you delete social media, which like during the season, like I got off of Twitter, I got off of like this stuff because like you're gonna see it.
Yeah.
It's normal. It comes with it. Like we get to be in a position where people are talking to you, talking about you. Like people will beg and like, you know, strain to get to where we are. Like we're in a good position that people are talking about us. Like positive or negative. Like it is what it is. You're on a natural stage. It happens. Like that, but people don't understand that bridge of like, we're human too. Like I bet some of you can't come do what we do.
Yep.
Like, but like we know it comes with it.
Bro, I talked about like, even I called a game on Saturday, and there are people that didn't like my call, and like it's natural. Like you
It's
can't
not like it comes with it.
Right.
It comes with it, and like most athletes can block it out, but some of my youngins had like problems like blocking that stuff out. Like they were saying about them and this and the third. I said, listen, they're gonna hype you up, and punch you when you down. That's just sports fans in general. I said, don't read too much into it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, worry about you, be straight on. So
I appreciate that. All right, quick ones. I know you're a McDonough guy. You were always busy on Friday nights getting ready for your own games. Did you ever get to watch like a McDonough Spalding game? Did you ever get to see Malik Washington play? I know that everybody down there is like losing their minds excited about him. I got to call some of his games. That kid's special. And did you think at all about maybe doing like a fifth year in order to get a year to play alongside that dude?
fifth year, no.
Yeah. All right, you were good. You're good.
Yeah. Well, I got to see Malik play. I got to see a couple of other Terps ships, and Delmar is an underrated talent. Y'all got to look out for him. He's a beast. I was one of the kids. I was like, whoa, who is this? I was like, Coach, we got to get on this guy. But he was already in the run for Maryland. But yeah, I got to see Malik, and he's talented, very talented. I wish he was a little there when I was there, so I can sharpen him how me and Talia used to go back and forth playing chess football. And you kind of make yourself better, and he throw a good ball on me. I get a jump on the ball here, this and the third, and we learn, and I could teach him what I know, so he'd be able to be projected. But he's gonna do pass the test with flying colors, man. Sky's the limit for Malik, and I wish him all the best. He's a mass competitor. They're gonna see.
Spanos on Saturday. Is that the moment for him? Like, is he the guy now? Like the alpha? Because we talked about like last year, they made that run without having like a Logan or a Bernhardt. Can he be that guy now moving forward from here?
Yeah, I feel like any guy in that offense really like can be that guy. It's just who wants it. They all want it. I'm not saying they all want it, but being the guy is not easy. Like being a Wisnowskis or Bernhardt or Brett Makar or Logan Manini is not easy because a lot of pressure's on you to make plays. But yeah, he showed pretty good skill. They got some good transfers in there. I like, and then when Ursa gets going, Urska's gonna go, but Mr. Consistency is definitely Daniel Kelly.
All right, and now the most important part, because Kohler and I got into a fight last week because he was like, y'all in Baltimore already got Bo Braid. Like, you can't have both these dudes. We need to have him in Washington. And I was like, no. Selfishly, I need, because we loved having Bo here. Like, Bo's a 10.5. He's one of the best people. He's great. But we need to have both of you here. We can reunite the podcast in Baltimore. Like, what would that sound like to you if it just happened to work out that way?
Hey, man, I go wherever they want me, man.
I know.
If they let me and Bo be safeties on the same field again, that would be the craziest duo. And I'm telling you, there are gonna be some the highlight reels from just straight hits.
Yeah, it would be an incredible story if it worked out that way. But I get it. You're about to be a fan of whoever that is. I totally understand. Dante, remind everybody how they can follow you now that you're back on, the season's over, and you don't have to block everybody out. Where can they follow you? What can we plug for you, man?
Yeah, on Instagram, Dante Trader. And then Twitter is Dizzy Dante. Follow me, follow the journey, support the boy, hit me up. But
look, you understand how this goes. We're always going to love you. If it's Pittsburgh, it's going to be awkward. Like, it's just going to be awkward.
Hey, man. It is what it is. Fans got to be fans. I love the chirps.
there was that awkward moment where like Dino was here and it seemed like they just kept grabbing Maryland guys and then Canada was there. We just need that to end. And we just need it to be no Pittsburgh so that we can continue to appreciate you and respect you and love you and not have to say mean things about you that you know we don't really mean.
Business.
Yeah, bro, I get it, man. Dante, you're the best, dude. Thank you for taking the time for us as always.